There are 3 easy steps in creating your resume link. Let me show you how.
Step 1. Register. Go to www.jobs180.com using any browser and click Register Now. Fill out all the information needed. In choosing your resume link, use your full name so that it looks professional and it's easy to recall by potential employers. For example, Antonio Juan de la Cruz.jobs180.com. Step 2. Create and design. When creating your resume, make sure to complete your personal information and upload your profile picture. One of the highlights of the resume link is the portfolio section. In the portfolio section, you can show off your skills by uploading samples of your work like documents, pictures, videos, and your social media links.
Your resume link also features different themes and you can upload a cover photo. This is a combination of a cover letter and a social network cover photo. Here is an example. You can also download a copy of your resume link and print it. Step 3. Apply for a job. There are many ways to apply with your resume link.
First is browsing the job recommendations in your Jobs 180 dashboard.
If you're qualified, click Submit Resume Link. So what are you waiting for? Dress up your next generation resume, stand out brightly among the competitive job seekers in the market, and win the heart of your future employers using Resume Link.
The clinical trial market as we know it is about to change. We're revolutionizing the current state aligned to disparate, slow, and often manual processes. Optum's vision is to transform the drug development process to one that is centered and grounded in real-world patient behavior and physician practice. Optum's ability to access this unique network and fold in the strongest data and analytics expertise will enable us to jointly bring life-saving drugs to the patients who need it most. Join us in this partnership to bring our shared vision for real-time, real-world healthcare research for real patients.
Alright, so good morning everyone. Welcome to Jobs180.com's Marketing Me Live at St. Michael's College of Laguna. So today we will be joined by speakers from Jobs180.com, Cognizant, Factset, and VXI. So before we start, may we invite everybody for a short prayer followed by the singing of the national anthem.
Here below. mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
Kayang mag-ibig, telas ng sinakalan, alam ng puso, sa titik mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, tuyag ka ng mag-ibig, sa manlulupin, di ka pasisigil, sa nagagang tutok sa simoy at sa langit ng bagaw, ay hinatang tulad, awit sa pagkayang minamahal, ang isang ng matawad mo'y tagumpay na nag-iindig, ang bituin at araw niya kailan pamay di magtitigil. Luman ang araw ng walhabit pagsinta, buhay langit sa piling mo. Ang ligaya na pagkay mga aking, ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Again, welcome everyone. So, ready na ba kayo? By the way, my name is Joyce from jobs180.com. I will be your today's host, and we are live via Jobs180 Facebook and Jobs180 YouTube page today. Okay, so we hope that everybody is excited to learn new things. Okay, so to officially start today's session, may we invite Ms. Ruth Ann L. Musni, Associate Director from CCSC, for her opening remarks.
Good afternoon. On behalf of the administrators of St. Michael's College of Laguna, I'd like to welcome all educators, administrators, students, and alumni who are listening to us right now through FB or the YouTube. This virtual career webinar, Marketing Me, is made possible through the efforts of Jobs 180 to provide their school partners with the most relevant and responsive career platforms and services. For the information of everybody, Jobs 180 had always been assisting our students through career sessions conducted in our college. This virtual webinar is indeed a rare opportunity and a clear proof that not even the pandemic can stop us from reaching out to our stakeholders and partners in the industry. For those with us now, make sure to be consistently attentive, take down notes, and grab the opportunity to listen to the industry experts as they share the new trends in the job market and the necessary skills to become employable or marketable in this age of the fourth industrial revolution, so they say. Should you find yourself thinking that you already know what they have to say, think twice or thrice. Have an open mind and grab whatever new knowledge you can get from the sharing. Again, welcome everyone and enjoy learning. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for that, Ms. Ruth. Maraming salamat po. And of course, as usual, for our audience today, please comment your name, your year, and your course. And if you have questions later on, please type them in so we can answer them after the talk. Okay, again, please comment your name, your year, and your course para lang makita namin kung nandito ang SMCL. Okay, and please don't forget to tag and share this to your friends too. So kung wala pa sila dito, tawagan nyo na. Nakakapanghinayang naman if mamimiss nila itong opportunity na to. Sabi nga ni Ms. Ruth, grab the opportunity. Okay, so this is once in a lifetime. And here is our schedule for today. So we have the online applications using Resume Link, which will be discussed by jobs180.com. We also have Key to Success in the New Normal by Cognizant Philippines, Effective Interviewing Skills by Factset Philippines, and Developing Strong Work Ethics by VXI Global. Okay, so again, shout out to everyone who is here na. Again, please comment your name, your year, and your course. And as we go along, type in your questions so we can read it later, sabi ko nga. I remember meron tayong senior high din, no, from SMCL. So just type your name, your year, and your section or your year level. Okay? So as we go along, type in your questions so we can read it later, and wag kayong mahiya. This is your chance to ask before you face the real adulting thing or the world of work. Okay? So kilalanin na po natin ang ating unang speaker. So for today, we have the managing director from jobs180.com, who has 20 years of experience in sales, marketing, business development, customer service, operations, business process, and human resources. As a trusted resource speaker, he has done over 1,000 plus career development seminars in more than 400 plus colleges and universities nationwide. Again, the managing director from jobs180.com, Mr. Kim Chua. Sir Kim, take it away.
Allow me to share to you how to make a job-winning resume. Yan. A lot of you are now looking for a job and exploring for the next chapter in your life. I hope that this session will be able to help you. No, not only you, but the people that you know that needs help in terms of how to make a job-winning resume. Yan. So yan na tinatawag natin resume link. A lot of platforms right now, mga online platforms are being offered left and right. But for you to know paano to magiging job-winning tool or job-winning resume to, meron akong checklist. So go with me, no, with all these checklists. Your checklist should include the following. Number 1, kailangan mag-stand out ka. When you look for a job, you have to be able to stand out. Because if you're not going to be able to stand out, then I think you'll just be part of the crowd. You'll be one of the next applicant na wala lang, na hindi mapapansin. Another thing that should be in your checklist is that you should only have one file. Hindi dapat maraming files na iba-iba sinesend sa mga companies. Mas maganda, isang file lang para pag sinend mo, lahat ng details mo nandoon na. Another thing in your checklist is that it should make the process more efficient. Ibig sabihin, mas mabilis mag-submit, mas mabilis makita ng HR, at mas mabilis kayo makontak for possible next steps na or possible job offer na. Now, another thing in my checklist is that dapat tipid ito, wala tong gastos. The tool that I will show you today, wala itong gastos. Libre po ito. At higit sa lahat, itong pinaka-importante sa lahat, this should be in your checklist. The tool should be secured. Okay, more than anything, importante talaga ang data. Pero ang data ninyo, dapat yung protectionan. And using this tool, this is the most secured resume kung tawagin. Bakit siya tinawag na most secured resume? Let me go through the next slides na. Okay? Ito ang tinatawag na resume link. Okay? A personalized URL for anyone can open online anytime. I will use an example para makarelate kayo. If you are John Santos, ang link mo or resume link mo pwede maging johnsantos.jobs180.com. Ganun lang kasimple. At yan na po ang resume link nyo. So how do you make one? Go with me through the 3 simple steps. First step is you have to register. Absolutely, wala tong bayad. Libre po ito. How do you register? You go to the website of jobs180.com. That's www.jobs180.com at dun ka mag-register on the upper right side of your screen. Now, as you do that, you have to put the basic information. Okay? So, alam nyo na ano mga information yan. Hindi ko na isa-isahin. Babawasan nyo naman at alam nyo naman ano dapat ilagay. Now, as you create your account, you have to use a valid email. Okay? Now, before we go to the email, paalala ko lang, sa mga nag-isip sa inyo, paano kung hindi ako si John Santos, ano gagawin kong resume link? O yan, baka nag-isip kayo eh. So, if ever lang, meron kang kapangalan, okay, just so happen na may ibang John Santos na nauna sa inyo, ano mangyayari? Magkakaroon doon na red na box, sasabihin niya, this name has already been taken. Huwag kayong malungkot, pag taken na, okay lang, just be creative. Pwede mo gawin, baliktarin mo. Gawin mo santosjohn.jobs180.com o kaya J Santos o kaya Santos J o kaya JS o kaya SJ. Depende kung ano gusto mo gawin. Basta importante, wala kang kapangalan. Okay? Wala kang kapareho. Now, when you do this, huwag kayong OA. Do not create yung mga ganong klaseng over-creative na mga resume link because it doesn't look professional. Imagine submitting to a company with your resume link that says eljablo.jobs180.com. Hindi yan mukhang professional. Okay? Now, when you register, please use a valid email. Ito yung emphasis ko lang sa pag-create nyo ng account na dapat gamitin yung email, yung nabubuksan yung email, kagaya ng Gmail, Yahoo, or any email na nabubuksan nyo. Do not create, example lang yung mga email na kagaya ng ganito, patricia@facebook.com na email. Huwag kang gagamit ng joseph@facebook.com na email to register. In short, huwag mong gagamitin yung @facebook.com na email. Because if you use @facebook.com na email, you will no longer be able to receive notification being sent to you by the companies as well as jobs180.com. Importante po na nabubuksan nyo yung email nyo kasi kailangan mo i-verify yung account mo. Okay? It is very important that you verify your account as a proof na ikaw nag-register at pangalawa, para ikaw yung makapag-apply. If you don't do this, if you don't verify, walang mangyayari sa account nyo. Okay? So, sayang lang. So, you have to verify to finish the first step. Okay? How do you verify? Just open your email, look for the link, click mo yung verify, you're done with the first step. Okay? Tapos na yung first step. Ano yung first step? Register. Wala tong bayad. Let's go to the second step. Ang second step, ang pinaka-logical sa lahat. Kailangan kumpleto ang detalye nyo. So how do you do that? you go back again to your account by going to the website of jobs180.com. This time, hindi mo kailangan mag-register. Ang gagawin mo, mag-login. Pag login mo, lagay mo dito yung email nyo or resume link nyo, kayo lang may alam yan, at lalo na yung password nyo na kayo lang talaga may alam yan. So when you do that, you now go inside your account. Pag nasa loob na kayo ng account nyo, ano gagawin nyo? Mabilis na lang ito. Fill in the blanks. Okay? Now, I don't have to go through all the information here because definitely, alam mo naman pag sinabi ditong name, malamang pangalan nyo. Pag nakalagay dito address, malamang address nyo. Diba? So you put all the information ninyo dito. Okay, lagay nyo. Then, what else do you put in here? Importante po, lagay dito lahat ng posibleng paraan na pwede ka makontak ng isang HR. Kagaya ng social media account nyo. Diba? Hindi lang email tsaka phone number. Bakit? Most of the time, ano nangyayari? Okay, let me tell you. Marami sa inyo nilalagay nyo phone number nyo. Pero pag tinatawagan kayo ng HR, hindi nyo sinasagot, lalo na pag hindi mo kilala. Hala, sino kaya ito? Hindi mo sasagutin. Diba? Kasi takot kayo, baka nagsascam or whoever yung tumatawag. So ano mangyayari sa mga HR? Mag-i-email kami ngayon sa inyo. But you don't open email more often that you open your social media account. So I recommend lahat ng posibleng paraan na pwede ka makontak na isang HR, ilagay mo dito. Kagaya ng mga Facebook nyo or Twitter nyo para mabilis ay makapag-PM. Private message, makapag-invite for the next step. Okay? What else do you put here? You also put here your work options, yung mga work experience nyo. Pagdating po sa work options, you can see on the screen, you have 4 options na pwede nyo pagpilian. Parang switch lang yan. Yes, no switch, on, off switch. So you can choose here, example, looking for OJT, lagay mo yes, if you're looking for OJT right now. And later on, pag hindi na, turn it off. Lagay mo na no. Diba? So depende yan kung anong mas trip nyo or anong mas pasok dun sa hinahanap nyo right now. What the system will do is it will try to match you with companies who are also looking for the same profile with what you have. Yan yung kagandahan ng tool natin. Hindi mo kailangan mag door-to-door para mag-submit ng resume link ninyo. Okay? What else do you put here? You put here your school under education. Even later on, okay, pagka-graduate nyo, you can also put here your schools. Yung mga nag-take pa kayo ng further studies, pwede mo rin ilagay dito. Okay, so walang limit sa space yan. Pagdating ko sa seminars attended, ganun din. Kahit gano'ng karami, pwede nyo ilagay dito. Kahit magkopyahan pa kayo. Just make sure lang alam mo yung seminar na yon. Kaya baka matanong ka sa interview. Pagdating po sa certification, ganun din. Put all the certification programs that you've had, you put it here. Okay? When it comes to the achievement, do not limit your achievement only inside the school. Hindi lahat na nakikinig ngayon ay Dean's Lister. Hindi kayo lahat dito ay honor student. Diba? Ayan, nag-agree marami sa inyo. So, hindi lang po ang achievement nakabase sa academic excellence. Some of you are student leaders. So, if you're active sa school, you also put it here kung ano yung mga pinagkakaabalahan nyo. And hindi lang sa loob ng school, even outside the school. If you're active in your barangay, halimbawa, isa kang tanod, ilagay mo dyan. Diba? Yan yung mga achievement ninyo. So, you put it here. Bakit? Because what you're doing now is you're trying to market yourself more effectively to that prospective company. Okay? Now, when it comes to the skills and languages, ito yung common observation namin mga HR. Pagdating sa skills, nilalagay mo lang na skills yung mga umiikot lang sa course nyo. Hindi porkat communication arts ang course mo, com arts lang ang skills na alam mo. Hindi porkat engineering ang course mo, ang alam mo lang na skill ay pang-engineering. Hindi porkat tourism or HRM ang course mo, ang alam mo lang na skill ay pang-tourism at pang-HRM. Maybe some of you are into multimedia, into photography, into videography, into something else, arts, crafts, whatever. Lahat ng yan, skills nyo yan. Remember, what you're doing here is you're marketing yourself more effectively. Kaya kung ako sa inyo, ilagay mo dito lahat ng skills na alam ninyo. Pagdating po sa languages, ganun din. Huwag mong ilimit yan sa 2 lengguwahe lang. Because I'm sure alam nyo na yung 2. Kung 2 lang talaga alam nyo, din 2 lang. Ano tong 2 to? English and Tagalog or Filipino. Okay? Now, if you know other local dialect, Bisaya, Kapampangan, Sabacano, Ilonggo, you can also put it here. If you know foreign languages, German, French, Chinese, Japanese, diba, Korean, pwede mo ilagay dyan. Okay? Walang limit sa space yan. When it comes to the references, sigurado ko yung mga references nyo, kilala nyo. Ang malaking tanong dito kayo ba'y kilala nila? Sana oo, di ba? Kasi madalas pag tumatawag kami sa mga references nyo, hindi kayo maalala. So please tell them, ginawa nyo silang reference para at least they know what to tell about you. Okay? Now at this point, to make your life easier, kung sakali lang nakagawa ka na ng resume nyo in your Word file or maybe in your doc file, depende kung anong file nyo, PDF file, whatever file you have. Kung nakagawa ka na ng resume nyo, simple na lang. Just copy all the information inside dito. No, ilagay mo sa loob ng resume link. Just transfer them here inside the resume link para maging secured yung data nyo. Okay? Kung bakit secured, I'll tell you as we go along. Okay? So yung mga sinabi ko, I think alam nyo na yan. Alam niyo na yan. Okay? Itong mga susunod kong papakita, ito yung mga amazing na portion. Let me start with the portfolio section. Ano yung portfolio section? This is the part where you now upload evidence of your skills. Example, ano ebidensya na graduate na kayo later on? Diploma, 'di ba? Transcript. Ano pa? Toga? Hindi ebidensya yung toga. Okay? Kung ano man meron nyo, 'di ba? Certificate, diploma, yan, ebidensya yan. Okay? Kung transcript of records is evidence na graduate na kayo. Ano ebidensya na wala kayong criminal record? NBA clearance, police clearance, 'di ba? Ano ebidensya na pwede ka pumunta sa ibang bansa? Passport, visa, lahat ng mga sinasabi mong mga skills mo or yung mga what you're claiming that you know, you can now support them here sa portfolio section by showing those documents. Diba? Anong ebidensya na ikaw ay healthy? Meron kang medical clearance. Anong ebidensya na pwede ka mag-drive ng sasakyan? Meron kang driver's license. Diba? So gets nyo na yung sinasabi ko. Ang point ko lang is you can now put the things here to support yung claim nyo of your skills. Now, you're starting to think, Sir, kung pare-pareho naman kaming graduate sa school namin, pare-pareho kami magkakaklase, same yung course namin, same yung school, same yung teachers, same yung curriculum, pare-pareho lang naman kami lahat, walang experience sa trabaho, how will we stand out? Ayan, di ba? Okay, ito ngayon yung isang magandang recommendation ko sa inyo on how you now stand out. You get your smartphones. Kunin mo yung mga smartphones nyo. Kung wala, manghiram sa kaibigan. Okay, hiram mo sa kaibigan mo. I-record mo yung selfie video mo. You say something interesting about yourself. Record it in about 30 seconds to 1 minute lang. Huwag na masyadong mahaba. Ano gagawin mo? Pretend that you are being interviewed by the HR. So you answer basic questions like, tell me something about yourself. O, di ba? Ano yung mga gasgas sa tanong natin? Why should we hire you? O, di ba? Just imagine na tinanong ka ng HR at sasagutin mo na lang siya. Ang maganda lang ngayon, recorded mo. So kung di mo type yung sagot, i-delete mo. Pag type mo, you save it. Then you upload it sa YouTube or sa Vimeo. Maraming mga video channel na libre, mga video converter sa online. Hanapin mo lang. And when you're done, you put that video link doon sa portfolio section nyo. O, di ba? This time, it will definitely make you stand out because depende na to sa diskarte mo on how you're going to present yourself. Okay? So I leave it up to you on how you do that. Now, another thing for you to do, na sure akong hindi to makokopya ng classmate mo, ay yung picture mo. Diba? So you put your profile picture here. Now, when it comes to the picture, hindi kailangan sobrang formal na formal. Hindi kailangan pumunta sa studio. Huwag na kayo gumastos. Ang importante dito, tumingin kayo sa camera. Plain background. Okay? Plain background, tumingin kayo sa camera. Wear something, of course. Wear something decent. Okay? Do not upload profile pictures that look like the right side of your screen. Yung mga sample na yan, hindi po maganda yung sample yan. Okay? So, huwag kayo maglagay ng mga ganun kasi mga sample ng profile picture. Now, another good thing pa that will make you stand out using the resume link is your cover photo. Yes! A picture paints 1,000 words. Yan ang kasabihan na very, very applicable dito. A lot of you who are listening today, hindi kayo gifted with writing skills. Hirap kayo i-express ang inyong feelings at inyong thoughts into words. Hindi mo ma-type, hindi mo ma-sulat. Tama? Hirap tayo eh. Bakit? Hindi natural sa atin yan. Pero pagdating sa picture, kaya mo i-express yung inyong personality. Look at the examples I'm showing you. Look at the one on the left. Ano siya? Isa siyang ophthalmologist or optometrist. Sabi naman ng iba, eye expert. Di ba? Yung sa kanan, ano siya? Sabi ng iba, sir, parang IT. Sir, techie siguro kasi maraming gadget, pati stapler, gadget niya. Di ba? O sabi ng iba naman, sir, parang makalat. O depende na kung how you are going to interpret it. But now, the way I see it, itong taong to, multitasker. Okay? Another good example I'm showing you is this one. Someone from psychology, someone from neurologist, or maybe someone who knows left and right. Ganun lang kasimple. No? So, depende yan how you're going to express yourself. Okay? Another good example pa, ito. Itong person na to, ang gusto niya sabihin, there's no shortcut to success. You will be able to reach your goal by taking one step at a time. O, di ba? So, I'm showing you good examples. Hindi yan member ng Akit Bahay Gang. Hindi rin po yan social climber, in case that's what you're thinking. So, kung nagpakita ko ng magaganda example, I will also show you yung mga hindi magandang example para wag niyong gagayahin. Huwag kayo magpapaka-misteryoso. Okay? Make sure you put your picture there. Okay? Kasi maraming pangalan ngayon, interchangeable. Ako mismo, guilty ako dyan. My name is Kim. A lot of people think babae ako. Ako rin mismo, napagkakamalan ko yung mga aplikante, pag nakita ko, Chris, George, Alex, Sam. O, diba? Minsan isipin ko, Joey, lalaki. Yung pala, babae. Diba? So you better put your picture there para at least alam ng HR who to expect. Okay? Now, when you make your resume link, dapat may laman talaga yan. Kasi kung walang laman yan, ganyan itsura niyan. Blanco. And how do you expect companies will look, or HR from companies will look at your profile if you submit to them resume links that look like this. It's like submitting a piece of a paper, bond paper, or long bond paper, short bond paper na walang laman except pangalan mo. And that's the same as this one. So hindi yan papansinin ng mga HR for sure. Okay? Sayang lang oras nyo tsaka oras ng HR. Kailangan attractive. Okay? When I say attractive or catchy, do not overdo it naman. Now, this is just in my opinion. In my opinion, I think this one is not a good example kasi ang dating niya parang tamad, parang happy-go-lucky, parang chill-chill lang, no? Parang ganoon ang dating. So, I leave it up to you on how you'll be, expressing yourself na dito. Okay? So, sa mga personality nyo. Alam niyo na anong dapat nyo gawin at hindi nyo dapat gawin. So, showing a very good example is si iExpert. Tignan mo, lahat ng detalye niya, kompleto. Everything from top to bottom, kompleto lahat ng details, including yung kanyang mga portfolio section na nagpapatunay na siya ay isang licensed ophthalmologist. Pinakita niya lahat ng mga posibleng hingiin pa sa kanya ng mga HR. So bakit ko sinabi sa inyo na napapabilis yung buhay dito? Hindi lang buhay nyo. Pati buhay rin ng HR napapabilis. Because once you submit all this information to that company, when the HR opens your resume link and sees everything about you, dalawa lang ang pwedeng mangyari niyan. One is, nahuli mo attention, gusto kanya ngayon kausapin or schedule for the next step, like interview or possibly job offer, or hindi ka nag-fit. Yun yung second. Di ba? Para at least, ang maganda rito, hindi na pabalik-balik, hindi na siya tatawag para sabihin, hello ma'am, meron ka bang evidence na graduate ka na talaga sa school na yan? Can you send me your transcript? Di ba? Can you send me yung mga evidence or yung mga sample skills or sample work mo kasi you are in IT or in graphic design? Di ba? Gets mo ibig ko sabihin? Wag nang pabalik-balik, sayang yung oras. Okay? Time is of the essence, lalo na ngayon. So you put everything there, at least pag nakita ng HR, diretso na kagad sa pag-process sa inyo. Okay? A lot of you are now thinking, Sir, pag gumawa ako ng resume link at nilagay ko lahat ng information ko dyan, baka naman yung mga data ko nakakalat na sa buong mundo. Baka naman yung mga information ko nakalantad na sa buong internet. The answer is, no. Kaya nga siya tinawag na the most secured resume. Okay? Bakit siya tinawag na most secured resume? Because you have the ultimate control over your privacy settings. Follow the screen. Inside your dashboard, when you log in, you can go to your settings. Sa settings mo, to be specific, puntahan mo yung privacy settings. In your privacy settings, you choose the information that you want to show in public. Halimbawa lang you do not want to show your birthday. What do? Turn it off. Ayaw mo pakita yung address mo. What do? Turn it off. Ayaw mo pakita ang inyong references. What do? Turn it off. So lahat na naka-off, hindi lalabas sa public. At sino may control niyan? Kayo lang. O, di ba? Ang maganda pa rito, real-time update yan. Halimbawa, today, you decide not to show your birthday, your address, and references. And then 5 minutes later, you decide, sige, pakita ko na nga birthday ko. Turn it on. Real-time. 5 minutes later, the moment you save your settings, lahat na binigyan mo ng resume link, updated na rin sila real-time. As in real-time. Di ba? Ayos, di ba? Sige, tuloy natin. Tuloy pa natin to. So, reminders ko na lang sa mga late na dumating or kakakinig lang, when you make your resume link, make sure that your profile is interesting and attractive. Okay? Wag OA. Iba yung over naman yun. No? Wag naman ganun. So, make sure it's attractive, it's catchy. Complete all the information, especially your contact details. Kasi sayang naman lahat ng ginawa mo, nahuli mo attention, hindi ka makontak ng HR. So, better make sure nandyan yung mga contact details na updated. Okay? So, yan. So, tapos na tayo sa 2 steps. Last step na lang. Ano yung first step? Recap lang. First step is register. Wala tong bayad. Libre po yan. Second step is for you to complete the information. Yan ang pinaka-logical. And the last step now is for you to submit. So, you're now thinking, okay to paano ko gagamitin ngayon yung resume link? Bigyan kita ng iba-ibang paraan. Okay, lahat ito practical application para makarelate kayo. Unang option, pumunta ka sa website ng jobs180.com. That's www.jobs180.com, and that's where you now start to look for companies. Type the companies that you're looking for. Pag may lumabas, edi good. Pag walang lumabas, edi wala. Okay, wag din pilitin. Okay? Now, you can also see there a lot of companies, a lot of company logos that you can shop around, you can choose, learn about the company, and if you want to be part of the company, I recommend you submit your resume link kahit na hindi ka pa qualified. Let me repeat what I just said. If you want to be part of an organization, if you want to be part of that company, even if you are not yet qualified, I recommend you give your resume link to that company. Bakit? Imagine, Kung ngayong hapon, ngayong araw, nag-submit ka ng resume link sa isang kumpanya na naghahanap ng 3 years experience na aplikante. Wala ka pang 3 years experience. Okay lang. Because nabigay mo na yung resume link mo sa kanya, pagdating ng 2024, siguro naman by that time, meron ka ng 3 years experience, di ba? Kasi nag-work ka na ngayon by 2021. By 2024, may 3 years experience ka na, pwede ka na ma-qualify dun sa position in applyan mo. And you never know. That company might just contact you later on, provided that your details are still updated. So you have to update those information real time. Ayos ba? Ayos, di ba? Wala nang pabalik-balik, hindi mo na kailangan magbalik-balik dun sa kumpanya para sabihin, nag-apply po ko sa inyo last year, ako po yung OJT nyo 3 months ago. Wala lang ganun. Okay? Another practical application. When you submit your resumes through email, how do you do that? Madalas, ito ginagawa natin. Mag-email tayo, sasabihin natin, Dear HR Manager, I would like to apply for the following position and this is my resume. Ano gagawin nyo? I-attach mo yung Word file mo or PDF file mo. Tama? If that is how you're doing it, wag mo nang gawin yon. Wag ka na mag-attach ng anything sa email. Pampabagal lang yan, tsaka makaluma na yung style na yan. Bakit ko sinabi yon? Kasi hindi mo na kailangan talaga mag-attach ng anything. Ang gagawin mo, i-type mo na lang doon sa email mo yung resume link mo. Example, Dear HR Manager, I would like to apply for the following position. And this is my resume. In this example, Antonio Juan de la Cruz, 01.jobs180.com. That's it. Submit. I look forward to your information. Thank you. Send. Every time meron kang babaguhin sa details mo, hindi mo na kailangan padalhan yung HR. Kasi kung ginagamit mo mga attachment, ang kulit niyan eh. Ang kulit, saka nakapagod. Ano gagawin mo pag nagbago ka ng phone number? Dear HR Manager, this is now my updated resume. Mamaya-maya, 2 weeks later, nagpalit ka ng phone number. Ano gagawin mo? Dear HR Manager, this is now my updated, most recent resume. O di ba? Every time meron kang babaguhin, padala ka na padala doon sa HR. Nakakapagod yan, hindi lang sa part nyo, kundi sa part din namin sa mga HR to keep track which one yung pinaka-updated na details. So this time, wala na kailangan. Palit-palit na lang kayo ng details nyo, update-update na lang sa loob ng resume link. Ayos ba? Ayos pa. Okay, tuloy pa natin to. Okay? If you want to print your resume, this is now the good news. You can now print your resume link. No matter how much information you have, the system will try to compress everything into one page. So kung gusto mo talaga mag-print ng papel at mag-submit sa mga kumpanya, walang kaso. Pumunta ka lang sa dashboard mo, hanapin mo yung print na option at mamili ka kung 1 column or 2 column version ang gusto mo i-print. What the system will do is it will try to compress everything into one page para tipid na. O, di ba? Now, usapang tipid. Ito mas tipid pa. Gusto mo mag-print ng resume pero gusto mo magtipid. Itong gawin mo. Gumawa ka ng resume link card. Ano tong resume link card? Sa isang pirasong long bond or short bond paper, mag-design ka ng maraming resume link card. No? Maliliit lang, parang business card ang dating. In one piece of paper, I think you can make 10, 20 sets of cards. Depende sa size ng papel mo. At ang importante lang ilagay mo dyan sa resume link card mo ay syempre ang inyong resume link. Diba? So, hindi mo na kailangan ilagay lahat ng details mo sa resume sa loob ng maliit na papel. Lagay mo lang resume link mo. And that is what you now give to the companies when you start applying. Look at the picture I'm showing you. Diba? Tipid. Hindi lang tipid. Secured pa. Tingnan nyo. If you submit yung big paper resume nyo, long bond paper, sinubmit mo sa isang kumpanya, nag-apply ka. For some reason, nilipad ng hangin. Yung nakapulot ng papel na yan, alam na buong detalye mo because everything is in that one-page printout. Now, if you lose that small piece of paper, don't worry. Meron kang peace of mind. Bakit? Yung mga kapulot niyan, limited sa privacy settings mo because you have the ultimate control over your privacy settings kahit na i-type niya yan sa browser. Okay? So, ang recommend ko rin sa mga nakikinig, use the gadget. Take advantage of the technology. Use your gadget, your laptop, your cell phone, your tablet, kung ano man. Okay? Para ngayon kasi, with this day and age, technology na ang gamitin natin. Kung mano-mano pa rin kayo, wala kayong gadget, okay lang. Huwag kayong malungkot. You can still submit to the companies by just simply writing the resume link on a piece of paper. As simple as that. Okay? So, again, sa mga nagtatanong, ano yung mga guidelines ko para makagawa ako ng job-winning resume? Ito yung guideline ko. Ito yung checklist ko. Are you using the right tool? That's the ultimate question. There are so many tools right now, but these are the things that you should consider when you make your resume. And that is the resume link. It already addresses the following. Number 1, security ng information mo. I hope by this time, you have peace of mind. Ito na ang pinaka-secured na information because you have the ultimate control over your privacy setting. Pangalawa, the speed of hire becomes faster. It becomes more efficient because whatever you need, whatever the HR needs, you can already put it inside the resume link. Another thing is that it's flexible. If you want to print, just in case lang gusto mo talaga mag-print ng resume nyo, you have the option to print it. And you don't have to worry about saan ko sinave yung file na yan, saan ko tinago, wala nang ganun. Just log into your account and print. Mamili ka lang kung 1 column or 2 column version. At higit sa lahat, wala po itong bayad. Tipid po ito. Walang bayad. Okay? Ang kailangan mo lang, of course, internet. Sa mga nag-iisip sa inyo, sir, kailangan ko ng pan-data, pwede ka naman makakonect sa internet na walang data eh. Punta ka sa libreng wifi. Di ba? Baka yung kapitbahay nyo may libreng wifi, o makagamit ka muna. Later on, pag may trabaho ka na, may sweldo na, bayaran mo yung wifi niya. O, di ba? Bawi-bawi lang yan. No? Give and take. And there are a lot more benefits to just what I've mentioned. Marami pang iba. You can share your resume link to whatever platform you want to share it to. Gusto mo i-text? Gusto mo siya i-private message? Gusto mo i-send via Viber? Kayo bahala. Pwede mo i-share. Basta kayo may control. Ganun lang kasimple. No? Kung hindi mo ito binigay sa kahit kanino, hindi malalaman to nung taong yon. And you don't have to save it to whatever USBs or hard drive. No need na. Wala rin tong mga tipong version na kailangan pa mag-compatible. Walang ganun. Lahat ito compatible. Pwede lahat. Okay? So, shout out na lang ako. Shout out to all our school partners. By the grace of God, right now, we have about 400 plus colleges and university partners nationwide, including your alma mater. So, thank you. We're very thankful for this opportunity that we're able to do this kahit tayo nasa loob ng bahay, kahit kayo ay nasa loob ng bahay. So, hindi tayo physically nagpe-present, pero nakakatulong pa rin tayo, especially if you have friends or relatives whom you think would need this tool. Please share this to them. Okay? Sa mga nagtatanong naman ng mga frequently asked questions, sasagutin ko na. Ito kasi yung mga common questions na kadalasan tinatanong sa akin. Ang tanong, can I give my resume link to companies who do not know about jobs180.com? The answer is absolutely yes. It depends kung sino ang bibigyan mo. Ikaw may ultimate control niyan. Okay? Pangalawang question, is this the same as other job platform like LinkedIn, JobStreet, iba pang mga job site? The answer is no. Meron tong dalawang major difference. Yes. Lalo na pagdating sa security. Okay. Of course, explain lang ako Okay. With respect to the other sites that I've mentioned, let me just use JobStreet as an example para lang mas makarelate, no? Para makarelate. You can only use JobStreet resume if you're applying to companies who are also using JobStreet. If you're applying to a company who is not using JobStreet, you cannot use your JobStreet resume anymore. With your resume link, you can use this to any type of company, any platform, wherever they are. Kahit sa loob ng Pilipinas or sa labas ng Pilipinas, pwede mong applyan. Kahit hindi niya alam ang Jobs 180, basta alam niya ang resume link mo, pwede niya mabuksan ang profile at makita according to your settings. That's the first difference. Pangalawang difference, kung nabigay mo na, kung na-submit mo na ang JobStreet resume mo sa isang company, wala ka nang pwedeng baguhin. Lahat ng data mo nandun na yan sa HR. Yes. Hindi na magbabago yan real time. With your resume link, na-submit mo today, mali pala number mo, na-submit mo today, mali pala yung spelling mo, you can always edit it, enter, save it, real-time update. Lahat ng bigyan mo ng resume link, updated real-time. Ayos? Okay, tuloy tayo sa number 3 question. Number 3 question is the easiest question. Ang tanong dito is, can I keep my information secured? I hope by this time, na-convince ko na kayo na ito na ang pinaka-secured na platform. Okay? That's the reason why I'm sharing this to you. Okay? Number 4, I think this is the most important question. How often should you update your resume link? Ang sagot dito, hindi araw-araw, hindi linggo-linggo, hindi buwan-buwan, hindi taon-taon. Ang sagot dito ay every time. Every time na meron kayong babaguhin, lalo na ang contact details nyo. Yan ang importante. You have to update your contact details every time na meron kayong papalitan doon. Kasi yan yung paraan para makontak kayo ng mga companies. And the last question is just a trivia. Why is this called jobs180.com? This is called jobs180.com because we want to turn your life around. Yan, di ba? 180 degrees. Hindi siya 360. Kasi kung 360, bumalik ka lang kung saan ka galing. Di balik-balik ka lang, balik-balik ka lang, balik-balik ka lang. Di wala nangyari. Di ba? So you have to do it 180 degrees. It's a straight line towards your career goal. Okay? Just in case may tanong pa kayo, nahiya magtanong, pumunta lang kayo sa website namin, sa jobs180.com, or email me here sa info@jobs180.com. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, follow us on Instagram para makakuha kayo ng mga latest trends in recruitment. Okay? Again, my name is Kim Chua. Don't forget yung wa. Okay? Baka Kim Chu lang maalala nyo na nagsasabing, be safe at isang magandang araw po sa inyong lahat. Thank you.
Alright, so thank you so much, Sir Kim. Maraming salamat po. And of course, the floor is now open for questions, guys. So if you have questions for Sir Kim and regarding resume link, now is the time to ask. Okay. So I'm sure Miss Ruth will ask every one of you to create resume link. Siyempre, preparation also. Kung meron man tayong virtual career fair with SMCL, and I believe meron yan, no? May niluluto si Miss Ruth na job fair, virtual job fair for St. Michael's, Laguna. Okay, so if you have questions, ask na, guys. Okay, so while waiting for questions, we'll ask Sir Kim. So, hi Sir Kim, kamusta po? Magandang umaga.
Ito, okay naman. Ito, excited na ako mag Q&A.
Alright. So, medyo mahaba-haba ang time natin, guys. Well. So, lahat ng questions.
Go.
Ayan.
Attack.
Pwede.
Tanungin niyo ako ng lahat, wag lang love life. Hindi, biro lang. Kasi Valentine's ngayon, di ba? So, binabati ko lang din kayo lahat, mga happy Valentine's dyan. Mga happy hearts. Ayan. Okay?
Malapit na. Ayan. Okay. So of course, sir, first, lagi nating questions, no? So, the benefits of creating or having resume link as early as now or before graduation.
So, maraming benefits ito. You don't have to wait until the time you'll be graduating or by the time that you are already looking for a job, tsaka ka lang gagawa ng resume link. So, kasi ito yung typical scenario ng isang job seeker, no, isang estudyante. Yan. Kung hindi niyo pa to na experience, huwag niyo na antayin pa mangyari to. Yung kung kailan ka na maghahanap ng trabaho, tapos doon ka nag-iisip, what were the things that you've been doing in the past years, no, when you were still in freshman year mo, sophomore, junior, ano mga activities na pinagkakaabalahan ko, ano yung mga contribution ko sa school, or yung mga basically, ito yung mga things that you put in your resume. So, wag mo nang antayin yung time na yun, tapos magto-throwback ka, mag-iisip ka, paatras. Instead, ang recommend ko is, as it happens, you now put it in your resume link. So whatever year level you are in, because I see in the comment section, some of you are in your first year, maybe some of you are in senior high school pa, okay lang din. Pwede kayo gumawa niyan. Diba, senior high school, gawa ka na ng resume link, unahan mo na kung sino pa iba, baka may kapangalan ka. Halimbawa, ikaw si Stephanie, gusto mo, stephanie.jobsonity.com, kung naunahan ka na ng iba, you cannot get that same link anymore. So you have to be a little creative. You can come up with something else. So ang bottom line ko lang is, one of the benefits is you create now, so that as you go along, you can already start to build up your information, your portfolio. Another, I think, practical benefit here is that whenever there's an event sa school ninyo, pagka meron po kayong mga upcoming webinars, kagaya nito, webinar natin, no? Hindi lang ito yung nag-iisang webinar ng ano natin, di ba, ng event natin, no? So we will be having a lot of webinars. You could also be invited to attend. Wala naman tong bayad, libre po yan. Friendship lang, no? Charge it to friendship as we joke about it. Now, another thing pa na benefit is that whenever there's a job fair or virtual career fair, whether face-to-face yan later on or virtual, ang ating mga career events, yung mga virtual career fair events natin, you would be getting invitation. Pag meron kang resume link, automatic na ma-match ka na, natatag ka na doon sa invitation because you are part of your alma mater. So, yan yung mga practical aspects. Now, one more thing pa, ito sa tingin ko, hindi na kita tanggi. Kasi pagka gumawa ka ng resume link, yung profile mo, ima-match na siya sa mga profile ng mga companies na naghahanap ng same profile mo. So, that means, instead of you looking for companies, it will be the other way around. It's actually the companies who are now going to be looking for you. Baliktad na, no? Instead na mag door-to-door ka, you can still, of course, be proactive in looking for companies kung may gusto kang applyan. Pero ang maganda dito, kayo na yung nilalapitan. Diba? Sila na yung kumakatok sa inyo. And then it's up to you now to react if you want to entertain them or not. O, diba? So yung mga benefits na yun pa lang, I think, diba? The benefits outweighs a lot. So, kung sa inyo, gawa na kayo. Yun lang yung bottom line. Diba? Huwag na antayin. Yun. Okay? I hope na-answer ko yung question ni Ma'am Joyce.
Alright. Okay, so thank you, Sir Kim. So kanina, before Sir Kim end the session, so may sinabi siya na you can submit your resume link, guys, kahit sa mga companies na hindi nyo kakilala. So the question is, Sir Kim, can I apply po ba, syempre locally, no? Pwede rin po ba outside the country?
Definitely yes, no, kahit saan pwede mo 'to gamitin, no. Kung sa ibang planeta, may kumpanya nagha-hire, pwede ka rin mag-apply doon, no. Pero again, joking aside, when you are going to use your resume link, kahit saang merong internet, okay, kahit saan may internet, pwede nila mabuksan, no. You just have to type it lang with whatever browser you're using, and that person needs to see the exact link. They have to know the exact link, which means it should come from you. Kasi hindi naman to searchable eh. Try to go to jobs180.com. Try nyo pumunta ngayon, no? As you are listening to me, try mo i-type doon yung pangalan mo. Tignan mo kung lalabas doon sa search bar, kung may lalabas na resume link. Walang lalabas dyan. Unless yung pangalan mo, pangalan ng company. Halimbawa lang, ikaw si John. O yan, may lalabas doon kasi may company pangalan, John Clements. O example, no? So again, shout out din ako sa ating mga industry partners dyan. Diba? May lalabas na kung mayroong position na ganun ng pangalan, lalabas din yun. Or yung location, no? Halimbawa lang, no? So yan, lalabas yun. Pero kung resume link, it will not it will come out. So anong recommend ko dyan? You can use this kahit saan ka pumunta. Okay? Kahit saan, pwede mo to bigay. And then they can always open it and you can always update it real time from your end. Okay? O yung mga students natin dito, parang nahihiya yata magtanong eh. Pwede kayo magtanong anything. Tagalog, English, just put it there sa comment section, no? Yan. Go lang.
So I believe Tagalog naman ata ang Lagunan, no guys. So, ayun.
Tagalog.
Kung may dialect naman kayo, marami tayong translator. So,
sige lang.
Ayan. Sige lang. Okay, and another, sir, syempre, inaangat naman na natin si resume link, no? So, of course, the students would like to know kung ano ang best feature ng resume link or ng Jobs 180 account.
Para sa akin, yung security feature. Kasi, when you put your information in your resume link, you have the ultimate control. Ikaw, you, as in you're the user, no? You're the account owner. You have the ultimate control over your privacy settings, your information. So, kahit nabigay mo na yung information mo, example, 5 months ago, diba? And you decided, example lang, you want to change some information. O, hindi kailangan sobrang tagal. Nabigay mo today. No, 2 minutes later, na-realize mo, kulang ng birthday. Lagay mo birthday mo. Diba? And then, 5 days later, na-realize mo, ay, ayoko na ipakita address ko, tanggalin ko na. So, ikaw may control niyan. No, real time. Which you don't find in a traditional resume. Imagine, traditionally, wag mo na tanongin kasi yung panahon ko, ganun eh, no? Nag-apply ng trabaho, wala naman resume link eh, nung time ko nag-apply. So, anong mangyayari? Even your parents, I think, you ask your parents, the way they were doing their job hunting before, physical papel, go to the building, go to the office mismo, and then submit that piece of resume. Now, what happens next? Pag meron ka na kulang na information, ano gagawin mo? Babalikan mo yun eh. Kailangan mo submit. Kasi kunyari, di ba, nagpalit ka ng whatever details, di ba, kailangan mo sabihan. Lalo na kung address yan or contact details mo, kailangan mo balikan ngayon yung HR. Now, another thing is, paano kung na-decide mo na ayaw mo na ituloy yung pag-apply mo for whatever reason, you want to withdraw your application. Will you go back to the company and say, ma'am, nagpunta po ako dito 2 months ago, nag-apply po ako sa inyo, and nagbago na po yung decision ko. I will not be pursuing my application anymore. Can I get my resume back? Yes, technically, yes, you can do that. You can do that, no? Pero, ang hirap gawin noon, kung ikaw, I'm speaking as an HR, hahanapin ko ngayon yung papel mo kung saan mo sinubmit yun. Baka naman na-shred ko na yan. Hindi ko na maibalik sa'yo, di ba? Or kung saan man. So, the point is, with the technology and using this resume link, with the click of a button, you can easily withdraw din. Diba kung yan, nag-submit ka na, no? And then na-realize mo, ayoko na magpatuloy dun sa pag-apply sa company, you can also click on the withdraw application. Ganun siya. No? So, although I'm not encouraging you to apply and withdraw, siyempre parang hindi naman ganun. No? I'm just saying lang na marami tong feature, pero one of which is the security feature. So, you can protect your information. Ikaw may control niyan. So, yan yung sa akin. Ayan. Nakita ko mayroong nag-question.
Yes,
Sir Ryu? Tama ba?
Ryu yata? Parang babae yung profile.
Babae ba? Sorry, hindi ko nakikita eh.
So anyway, good morning po. May nag-hire po ba kahit fresh grad, kahit wala pa pong prior work experience?
Thank you sa tanong na yan. Ito yung tanong ko pabalik sa'yo. Paano magkakaroon na experience isang tao pag never siya nag-hire ever at all? Pabiro lang Again, sabi ko, mahilig lang tayo magbiro. Ang gusto ko lang sagutin dyan is definitely yes, maraming companies nag-hire ng fresh graduates. If you ask me, ito yung point of view ko, ang lamang ng fresh graduate is wala pang sungay at buntot. if I just put it in that way, no, wala pang sungay at buntot, meaning parang sponge pa yan no, mabilis turuan, you're open to a lot of ideas, very creative, no, very idealistic, but parang alam mo yun, go go go, ganun yun iba yung energy pag fresh graduate wala pang wala pang mancha, ika nga, parang ganyan. So yan yung advantage ng isang fresh graduate. Now of course, may mga advantages din yung may experience. Syempre, kahit papaano, nahasa sila na doon sa trabaho nila, and they have the background na no of what they're doing now. So well, to answer your question, definitely yes, marami nag-hire ng mga fresh graduate. You just go check out jobs180.com. No, marami doon na mga job opportunities pang fresh graduate. You can also check out your school career portal mismo, no? So ito, nagsuscroll yung screen. Nakita nyo, nagsuscroll, nakalagay dyan, schools.jobs180.com/SMC Laguna. Ayan, type mo lang yan. Diretso na yan sa career portal nyo. Meron doon tab nakalagay fresh graduates. Click mo lang yon. Lahat na nakita nyo opportunities doon pang fresh graduates. So that should answer your question. No? Ayan. Okay.
Alright, so another question, Sir Kim. Thank you for that. Another question from Miss Joanna Simon. Good morning po. Is there any companies na nag-offer ng scholarship so that we can be working student po?
I think, Ma'am Joanna, I think yes. There are companies who are doing this, yung parang as part of their CSR, corporate social responsibility. Though mahirap mag-plug ngayon, mahirap mag-promote kasi hindi ko rin alam if they're currently offering or ano. Pero definitely yes, to answer your question, maraming companies ganyan. Kung hindi man full scholarship, at least in a way they give you aid. In Tagalog, ayuda. Sabi nga, they support you kahit papaano sa ibang paraan din for you to finish your schooling. So just explore around lang, no. To answer your question, yes, meron mga ganon. Okay? Pero may pero diyan. Pero at the end of it, meron lang konting giving back. Meron bond doon na you have to work for that company for say a period of time, maybe about 2 years or for the next 3-4 years. You have to work there after you graduate. Parang ganun yan. Syempre they invested on you, and then in return, they want to get the return of investment din, 'di ba? That you work for them. Okay? So maraming ganyan, no? Ayoko lang mag-mention kasi mahirap mag-mention ngayon ng companies, baka sabihin nila nagpo-promote ako ng companies. But definitely the answer is yes. Okay? There.
All right, thank you, sir. Another from Sir Mark Aquino. Will OJT experience suffice for the companies who might hire us, sir?
Teka, nasa mid lang ako. Will OJT experience suffice for the companies who might hire you? Ito yung word ko dyan. Wala naman silang choice, di ba? Hindi, biro lang. So, as a fresh graduate, ano pa bang ibang magiging work experience nyo? Maliban sa kayo ay rumakit, nagkaroon kayo ng mga sideline, nagkaroon kayo ng summer job, or perhaps you work for your family business. Kung ikaw ay COO, good for you, no? Child of the owner, di ba? Halimbawa lang, you work for your family business. Pero, kung wala naman talagang any ganong klaseng opportunity, the only thing lang that you will be having is your internship or your OJT, then we just take it as we go along. Ganun lang 'yon, 'di ba? Buti nga meron kayong internship 'di ba? Kasi sa virtual setting right now, since the pandemic started, there were there's a lot of actually mali. There's limited OJT opportunities. Limited na kasi nga hindi sila makapag-open face to face. Okay? So para lang masagot na tanong ni Sir Mark, oo. Yes, marami po. Okay? At lamang ka na in a way kung meron kang kahit papaano work experience. Kahit OJT is okay. Ayan.
Yan na. Of course, that counts na as work experience na. So may malalagay ka na sa resume link mo. Ayan.
Marami na.
Pag inas ka. Okay, I think wala ng question. So from Marisa, just wanted to say hi. Hi, Miss Marisa Kamishirasawa. Ayan. Okay, so we'll have still, may time pa na, Sir Kim. Ayan, so eto, Sir Kim, itong question na to, lagi kong nakikita kahit sa ang page natin, kahit sa mga school. So may mga nag-ask na bakit hindi daw sila makapag-print or can they print daw yung resume link nila. So nasabi mo ito kanina pero hindi sila aware kung saang part or
okay, so when you
print resume link.
When you log in to your dashboard, so pasok muna kayo sa account nyo, ng resume link nyo, ng Jobs180 account. Meron doon portion sa dashboard nyo to print click mo lang yung print, tapos pwede ka mamili kung 1 column or 2 column version. Okay, so what the system will try to do is it will try to compress all your information into 1 page. Now, kung sobrang haba talaga ng information nyo, then tatawid siya to second page. Siyempre, no, alam naman, ano sila, magnifying glass na kung print yun. Pero ganun yung mangyayari. Ita-try niya compress lahat into 1 page. Now, ako naman I honestly discourage you to print your resume, no, or your resume link, because once you print, if you really want to have a printed copy, then by all means, do it. Hindi kami galit sa papel. No? Okay tayo dyan. Friends tayo sa mga paper. Okay yan. Ang ano ko lang is, when you submit kasi a hard copy to a company, after the HR looks at your information, dalawa lang naman pwede mangyari, di ba? Either you move forward or later on ka na, no? Parang for future reference. So what happens to the piece of paper? It's either they put it sa shredder or they put it sa for reference file or sa somewhere there, sa folder nila or sa cabinet. Now, using the resume link, you can come up with the resume link card. Yun yung isang paraan din. No, mas tipid ka na doon, mas secured pa. Bakit mas tipid? Obvious naman, sa isang papel, ang dami mong magagawang cards. Diba? And it serves the same purpose. Yan yung point ko. It serves the same purpose lang din. Binigay mo yung maliit mong papel, kung gusto mo talaga may hinahawakan ka, di hawakan mo yung maliit na resume link card, yun ay abot mo. Diba? And when the HR sees your information, they can type it lang, yung resume link mo doon sa any browser. At sigurado naman ako, yung mga companies ngayon, meron niya internet. Dahil kung yung kumpanya walang internet, sa tingin ko lang, ayaw mo na mag-apply doon sa kumpanyang yun. Diba? Kung yung company ngayon walang internet. So you now type, they can type it and they can see your information. And ganun pa rin naman. Dalawa lang naman pwede mangyari din. You either move forward to the next steps or they just keep you for future reference. And in that way, nasa kanila na yung resume link. So therefore, they can still contact you in the future. Diba?
Yes, Kim. I think some are asking kasi requirement kasi some are asking daw na magpasa ng PDF or hard copy para kaya nag-a-ask yung mga students.
Pwede din nila. Yes, pwede nyo rin gawing you can save it as a PDF file yung ano nyo, yung resume link nyo. If that's what you want, no? If you're you can save it and you can use that file. Naka PDF. Yes, pwede. These are all options. So very flexible ang resume link.
Okay. So Sir Kim, meron tayong hindi ko alam kung maintindihan ng mga estudyante, pero we have tracer system po sa mga schools. Ayan. And yung resume link nyo po ay captured ng tracer system natin. So Sir Kim, what will happen if I don't as a job seeker, if I don't update my resume link?
Okay.
My school po?
Okay. Sandali, for the record lang, when you hear the word tracer, it doesn't mean that the schools will be tracing kung magkano sweldo nyo or kumusta na love life nyo. Hindi gano'n, no? The tracer part there is that they wanted to know kung kayo ay later on may trabaho na or wala pa. Siyempre, kung may trabaho na, at least kampante sila bilang isang, parang magulang nyo to second family nyo ang school ninyo. So, your school administrators would really want you to succeed. Yan naman yung bottom line. Ba't mo kayo nag-aral? Di ba? Para ba mag-fail? Siyempre, yes, you learn from failure. Pero ang point is they want you to succeed. And with that, kapag nakita nila na kayo ay halimbawa unemployed pa, wala pang trabaho, and you need some assistance, they can always, they're available to assist you. Yun yung reason why the schools would want you to update your information. Yan yung bottom line. Kaya nga tinuturo natin itong resume link sa inyo. Okay? Ayan.
Alright, thank you, Sir Kim. And of course, last, OJTs, tsaka hiring ni Jobs 180, Sir Kim. Baka gusto mong i-promote.
Yan, mag-promote tayo. Yes, tama-tama. No? Sa mga nag-iisip ng OJT opportunities, in case lang you're exploring, you're in your semester where you're looking for OJTs or internship, kami po mismo sa jobs180.com, kami, internal, we're looking for a lot of internship, a lot of OJTs. We can do this, hindi siya face-to-face, we can do it on a virtual basis. All you need to do is go to our company, yung jobs180.com/jobs180, mismong jobs180, mismong jobs180, or you can email us sa info, that's info, at jobs180.com. Okay? Hindi lang pang OJT, hindi lang pang internship, marami rin kaming mga full-time positions available. We are hiring. If you know people, or if you think you're qualified as a web developer for IT, you can submit your information, your resume link. Huwag nyo na pahirapan, diba? Resume link na. And then another position that we have is for customer service, for customer support. So if you think you have what it takes to be part of our team, so ito lang yon, no? Kailangan mo lang mag-submit na inyong resume link, no? So several ways. You can send your resume link via email, info@jobs180.com. And second is you can go to our website mismo, so jobs180.com/jobs180. Okay? Ayan.
Alright. Okay, so I think that's it, Sir Kim. Maraming salamat po. Thank you for joining us today. So guys, if you still have questions, we'll try to answer them, no, mamaya. So, ayan. So thank you so much, Sir Kim. So again, if you're interested to know more about jobs180.com or about Resume Link, you may visit our website. It's www.jobs180.com, or you may email us at info@jobs180.com. Ayan. So
Oh,
thank you
by
so
the
much,
way,
Sir Kim.
Ma'am Joyce, meron lang
Yes.
nag-comment. I think I'd like to ano lang to
Mm.
one item lang. Sorry, I know we have the next speaker na.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Ma'am Marisa, sorry, shout out lang ako Ma'am Marisa, ikaw naman nag-message. This is for everyone na kung sakali lang nag-apply kayo sa mga companies and you were denied, no, or you were rejected, no, if I just use that term, no? Hindi kayo pumasa dun sa specific position or specific ina-applyan nyo. Please don't feel bad. Okay, please don't feel bad. There's a lot of other opportunities out there. Kung kinakailangan nga explorein nyo lang yung iba, no, wag kayo mag-dwell on one position lang or one company. Okay, just keep on trying. Okay, ako recommend ko pagdasal niyo 'yon, ipag-pray niyo kung itong position to para sa inyo ba talaga. Na kung sakali lang na-reject kayo and you don't see the reason why kayo na-reject, okay? Trust in the Lord. May dahilan bakit hindi kayo napunta doon sa position na 'yon or sa company na 'yon. Okay? So just keep trying. Keep trying lang. Okay?
Laban. Tsaka maraming companies, guys. Ayan. So, ayan. Okay. So, maraming salamat, Sir Kim. Okay.
All right.
Okay. So, thank you, Sir Kim. Okay. So, don't worry, guys. Yung questions later on, i-carry over natin siya sa susunod na speaker. So, ma-answer natin lahat ng questions nyo. Okay. So, let's proceed with the next topic. So, next topic is key to success in the new normal. So, we have the Deputy General Manager for Training of Cognizant Philippines. So, she's been with Cognizant for 6 years. Prior to Cognizant was a training, quality recruitment, and performance consultant for various BPOs in the country, an HR learning and performance manager for a financial company, and training lead for the financial and technical business units of eTelecare International. Ms. Janet Lee-Jodloman. Janet, take it away.
Happy to be here again, and I hope you will be learning something from me. I'll be talking about critical skills in the new normal. Okay, so I'm sure you have an idea. Okay, when we talk about what skills are necessary or are critical in the new normal, right? It's not really just about when you're working, but I'm sure here again, and I hope you will be learning something from me. I'll be talking about critical skills in the new normal. Okay, so I'm sure you have an idea. Okay, when we talk about what skills are necessary or are critical in the new normal, right?
All right. So we are sorry. So I think we're having ano technical difficulties, no. So guys, please we have a pre-registration link before the event. So kung hindi pa kayo nag-register, so guys, hindi kayo ma-count sa attendance ni SMCL. So wala kasing evaluation link for today. So yung pre-registration link lang yun. So link attendance natin for today. So mag-register po lahat ha. And of course, again, please create your resume link at www.jobs180.com. And if you have questions, guys, please type them in so we can answer them. Okay. Okay. Okay, so let's just wait for a bit. I think we're just having trouble with the connection, I think.
Happy to be here again, and I hope you will be learning something from me. I'll be talking about critical skills in the new normal. Okay, so I'm sure you have an idea. Okay, when we talk about what skills are necessary or are critical in the new normal, right? It's not really just about when you're working, but I'm sure most of the skills are the same skills that are required of you, even the students. Diba? So in the new normal, we went through a lot of adjustments, and these are some of the things that I think are very important and very common. All right. But before that, okay, let me just go through this. I'd like to share this only because, okay, recently Cognizant won the COVID-19 Response Award from PEZA. I'm sharing that only because it's related to what I'm going to talk about today. Parts of adjusting to the new normal is, of course, being able to adapt, right? To be able, being able to do whatever we can to cope with the changing times. So it's one of the things that we're so proud about in Cognizant. Okay, so what are the critical skills necessary in the new normal? Let me ask you first, okay? So while I was preparing for this talk today, I actually read through several articles. Okay, so some articles online, and I had the privilege also of attending the IBPAP summit that started last night, and I heard some of the speakers also talk about, something related to the topic that I'm going to talk about today. Okay, so for this particular article I'm showing you right now, it's a special report from Sunstar in Cebu talking about distance learning in the new normal. Okay, it talked about retooling teachers, it talked about the changes in the curriculum, it talked about many other changes, all right? It talked about online blended training, which I'm very, very familiar with because I am part of Academy. So before I talk about what skills are critical or necessary in the new normal, especially if you're working, I'd like to get your thoughts, okay? So maybe, think about it. When you adjusted, I'm sure most of you, if not all of you, used to go to school, diba? Physically go there, you take the public transportation, or you have your own cars or transportation going to and from school, and then you are with your friends face to face, right? And there were a lot of adjustments, changes that happened when we moved from face to face to online learning, diba? So I'm sure when that happened, you too had to think about, okay, so how do I adjust? What am I doing now that I should be doing less? And what are the things that I should be doing more? Diba? So think of that. I'm sure when you think of that, you will be able to relate to what I'm going to talk to you about today, because it's not really that different. Whether you're a student or whether you're working in an organization, whether it's a BPO organization like Cognizant or not, the skills are kind of similar. And as I said, when I took a look at some of the articles, I actually saw that they were all identical. They were just, they were using different words, but they mean the same things. So I collected approximately 7. I wanted to put them all, but I just grouped them together. And I think the 7 that I have today are the things that I myself experienced. And I think that, I can vouch for. Okay. So let's see. 7 critical skills. Okay. I will show you each of those, okay, in a minute or in a few seconds. And I would say that, I'm sure you can relate. Okay, let's talk about each of those skills. Okay, I grouped them together. The first 3 that we have here are, number 1, of course, planning and organizing. Okay, what do we mean by that? In school, as a student, right, you have your schedule. You know that, again, depends on your course. It depends on the number of units that you have. Most of the time, some of you would probably or should be online by 8 a.m. or even earlier. And some of you will probably end by noon, lunchtime, or the others will probably start going online after lunch. You have your schedule, in other words. When you're working, it's the same thing. We have our schedule. Although in the BPO, in Cognizant, for example, we're flexible, right? We call it flexi time. In my case, I come in around this time, okay? I usually come in 12 noon until 9, or sometimes 1 to 10. Again, but you still have a schedule to follow. You have to be able to have a schedule. It's part of organizing things. When you're working at home, ayan, I'm sure makaka-relate kayo, right? You've seen a lot of TikTok videos where people are attending meetings, right? And then, kids happen to enter the room. If you're a mom or if you're an older brother or sister, your younger siblings will probably call on you, and you'd be distracted, right? So it's important for you to organize things, organize your personal tasks, and separate that from your, work-related tasks, right? So let's accept that. Let's admit it. At home, when you're working, like me, I'm a working mom, right? Unlike when you go to the office, you're just focused in your work. But when you're at home, you're working. Like now, I'm in front of my computer, but I could probably be thinking of, okay, calling my the people in the house and telling them, okay, cook this for tonight, or let's buy merienda, right? So there are many things, that distract us. We have to be able to separate those. It's part of organizing, not just, the task, but also your life in general. So it's very important to do that. You plan your day, you plan your week, okay? Because you can't just, be distracted all the time. You have to have a schedule. You segregate. Okay, your important versus your urgent tasks. One thing about being working from home is that you can always turn your computer off, right? You can always, leave your desk, go out, right? Get some fresh air, okay? And then just go back when you feel like it. You can do that, right? As long as, of course, you don't have urgent tasks to do. But if you have urgent tasks, it's important still to be able to, to tackle them right away as you start your day, so that as you go through your day, things will be lighter. That's part of planning your day. And then organizing your space is very important. In the office, of course, we have our own workstations, and we are expected to keep our workstations clean, not so many personal stuff around, right? Same thing when you're at home working. It's something that you also need to take care of. You don't want to be distracted by a lot of things on your desk. Make sure you organize that too. So you don't just organize your day, you don't just organize your mind, you organize the physical space around you, because that could be a source of distraction. So this is just one skill. Actually, it's a combination of 2, planning and organizing. That's very, very important nowadays. Hindi lang as a working, somebody working in a BPO, but I think, and I would say that even for you guys, right, diba, as students, you have to be able to organize your life. Okay. Now, the other thing, I grouped these 3 together, okay? The second important skill is multitasking. medyo, you might say it's contradicting, right? If I want to be able to organize myself, I should be focused on one task at a time. Then why are we talking about multitasking? Well, this is the new normal, okay? As I said, when you're at home, you're thinking not only of your work, but you're also thinking of the things that you need to do at home, right? If you're a student, your mom or your dad or your siblings will probably call on you every now and then, ask you to do something. After eating, you need to wash the dishes, or you need to sweep the floor because your chips are on the floor all over the place, right? So yeah, you can be distracted, but these are things that you have to deal with, okay, all the time. Everything is happening at the same time. Multitasking is very, very important. I'm sure a lot of you, especially during 11/11 and now 12/12 is coming up, right? While you're in front of your computer, somebody's going to call you delivery po, whether it's Grab or Lazada or Shopee or whatever. Okay, there are a lot of distractions. You should be able to identify these distractions, okay? Because you will not be able to manage them if you don't know what they are and when they happen, okay? Because when you multitask, again, medyo contradicting if you listen to it, you also need to be able to focus. Multitasking, regardless of how people see it, is not really just about you being able to do a lot of things or several things at the same time. Come to think of it, it has a lot to do with focusing. Okay, how to be able to know what to focus on. Okay, even if you have to multitask, it is a fact that while multitasking, you are still focused on what you're doing. You have to be able to do that. It's an important skill to have, whether you're at home, whether you're a student, whether you're a working mom, or even in the office, actually. But this is something that's happening all the time, and this is very, very common. Okay. Ano pa? Okay. Technical know-how. I think this is one thing that I started realizing, diba? When you're in the office or even at school, right? You're not really expected to use your computers all the time. Your teacher will not expect you to turn on your laptop, diba? You just have your notebook and your pen, right? Or a piece of paper to write notes. But now that we are enabled, okay, at home with laptops, with computers, it is important for us to discover and learn, what are the current technological discoveries or things that I need to know. Software, platforms, tools, right, that people use, not just in school, but also in the office. For example, now we used to meet using WebEx, and then now we have Teams, we have Google Meet, and I'm sure there are many others using other different platforms, right? And one other skill that you need to be able to do or to have is basic troubleshooting. I realized that also because in the office, when something happens to my computer, I just need to call IT, right? Or message them and say, I have a problem with my computer. I don't know what to do. So I can just leave my computer with them and then wait. But when you're at home, you have to do something about it. You cannot just call your IT and your IT guys will not come to you immediately, right? And especially if there's, you can't even turn your computer on. You need to be able to know some basic troubleshooting. Like you need to know, okay, when the screen turns blue, what does that mean? Okay, what do I do? Should I just reboot my computer? Do I unplug? Do I do this, etc., etc.? So these are, again, things that are now becoming normal for people who are working at home. We now learn how to do basic troubleshooting. It's part of the technical know-how, okay? Apart from discovering new tools, apart from discovering software, we need to know how to use equipment properly, okay? Computers, laptops, even phones, okay? So yan, I'm sure you can relate, diba? Even as students, you're starting to do that too. You're using your computers, you're using your laptops. So you need to be able to troubleshoot when needed. Ano pa? Okay, so I grouped these two again together because they're related. Collaboration and team orientation. Okay, and then of course there's communication. Okay, two very important skills. You might say, even in the old normal, you need that. Yeah, all of these skills, they're all necessary, whether, you're living in the new normal or living in the past. Okay, but when we talk about collaboration and team orientation, for example, in training, okay, my team takes care of training for Cognizant. I noticed that, or we noticed, the trainers noticed that some people pretend to be online. Okay, you can see their names, they're there. Okay, but when you call on them, parang, hello, are you there? Right? And I'm sure you've seen the memes, you've seen some of the videos where people actually create, that background where their face is there pasted on the wall, and then they can escape, right? And they can, step out, and it will still look like they are there. Okay, well, that's a skill. It's a skill, but it's not it's not something that we encourage. We need to be able to be aware that even if you're working inside your room alone, probably even in the dark, okay, you are still working with a team. You are still connected to your team who may be in their own homes, right? You need to be able to collaborate with them. You need to be able to exert effort to be visible. Okay, chat with them, email them, call them up, and they will do that to you as well, or with you as well. You need to be able to interact. You need to be able to, participate in meetings, participate in activities. Like for Cognizant, every now and then we have, activities where we gather together, and then we have people singing, or we have games, and again, engagement is very, very important. So even if you're working in Baguio or working from Boracay, which is fine, right? You still need to be able to work with the team, be visible, be proactive, be interactive, and participate. Okay, that's part of collaboration and team orientation. It's very, very important. Of course, when you do that, you will need a lot of good communication skills, right? You need to be able to communicate constantly. For example, I manage a team, right? I need to know, well, not that I doubt that they're online, but I need to know like where we are in whatever task we need to do for the day. We need to be able to communicate. We need to utilize or use communication channels. As I said, meron tayong pang chat dyan, di ba? So if you're using Outlook, you're using WhatsApp, if you're using Viber or whatever, right? You need to be able to know how to utilize those tools. At the same time, kasi nga, you're very far from each other. You're not physically there to explain things, di ba? There's always more room for misunderstanding because you just message each other, right? The interaction is all virtual. So you need to be very clear and very concise when you message. You need to know exactly, what words to use so that you can get the message across without being misunderstood, right? Because mahirap, di ba? Like I cannot just go, call everyone all the time to explain myself, right? I need to be able to learn how to communicate in such a way that, people will understand me right away, and I can get whatever information or whatever response I need right away, okay? Proper email etiquette, proper chat etiquette. Ayan, very important yan. Etiquette, okay? So you need to know that. It's part of communication skills. You don't really get to talk to them face-to-face all the time, to your coworkers, right? You don't really get to email everyone all the time or chat with everyone all the time. But when you do, you need to know the proper etiquette. It's part of the skill or the set of skills rather that we need now in the new normal. Okay, so konting research lang. What is appropriate, or what is not appropriate when chatting or when emailing, right? So that's one important skill that we also need to have in the new normal. Last two. Okay, I mentioned earlier something about adaptability, being able to adjust, right? So that's agility, right? And adaptability. I chose the word agility over flexibility. And then there's self-motivation. Okay, let me talk about self-motivation first. Okay, I'm sure a lot of you are aware that, you know, many people have been talking about some people getting depressed, or experiencing some sort of anxiety, okay, because we're cooped up in small rooms, or we've been inside the house, we can't go out the way we used to, okay, and that's really not good, right? It takes its toll on us. Talagang mahirap, like especially if you're used to seeing your friends all the time, going out, going to the mall, right? It's really very, very difficult. So it is important for us to do some self-motivation. We need to, you know, motivate ourselves and even motivate each other, our friends, our coworkers, right? But we need to start with ourselves. We need to exercise, not just our body, but also our mind. Okay, in my case, and for my team as well, I encourage them to learn new things. Like we've enrolled in Busu, where, you know, well, it's a partnership that we have, Cognizant and Busu, where we can learn new languages, right? Now I'm learning Japanese and Spanish, right? So it, you know, when I'm a little bit not really bored, but I feel exhausted from the things that I've been doing, or from the work that I'm doing, to distract myself, okay, and to motivate myself, you know, I take a few minutes and go to Busu and learn a new language. Okay, allow for breaks. It's okay, right? Even in the office, you can step out of the building. Some of you who smoke, although I don't encourage that, but that's one of the reasons that we go out to smoke, right? We need a break. Do that. Even if you're at home, you still need a break. Even if you're in your room, you still need a break. That's not bad. It's not, it's not cheating, because you still have your breaks. You're still entitled to that. And I think this time is really even more important. You need to be able to include that in organizing and planning your day. You need to be able to include, you know, your breaks as part of your agenda for the day. A few weeks ago or months ago, I started exercising, although now I'm not able to, but it's something that we need to do, okay? Not just to help us physically, but also mentally and even emotionally, okay? Now, last is, or to our agility and adaptability, okay? Be open to change, be open to, being able to do something and reacting and responding to changes immediately. Okay, that's why I chose the word agility over flexibility. Flexibility is good. It's part of agility. But agility, I think, is more appropriate nowadays, because it has a lot to do with immediately doing something, like being able to respond, being able to, do something right away. You're agile, right? Physically, emotionally, mentally agile. You're ready to do something and react, okay, positively. And adapt, of course. I think that's something that we don't have a choice, when it comes to dealing with the new normal. We need to adapt, whether we like it or yes, as I always say, right? Whether we like it or not. It's something that we need to do, and that's what we have been doing. Okay, we need to be able to adapt. To adapt, we need to keep learning. Okay, we need to keep learning new things. A lot of things have changed. Technology has definitely taken over, right? Technology enabled us to be in this situation right now, and that's why we need to learn to manage and make technology work for us. At the same time, we need to be able to also share the knowledge that we have, even if you're in your room. Again, we go back to team orientation, to collaboration. It is important for us to always communicate and reach out to real people, okay, not just virtual characters on screen. It is important for us to be in touch with the world outside. We, not because we need to learn, but we also need to be able to experience reality, okay, reality in the new normal, okay. So these are just a few of the things that, you know, we are now experiencing, something that we need to be able to do, okay, skills that we need to be able to learn how to do more of, or exhibit more of. Hindi po pwedeng petex-petex, just like what other people are saying. We need to be able to adapt, okay. So adaptability is very, very important, okay. So yun lang. Whether we like it or not, we are now in the new normal. Okay, so these things have been with us in the past. Communication has always been very important. Adaptability, whatever it is that I talked about earlier, all of those things have been very important for the past years. But still, now, you know, it's something that we need to do more of. Okay, or to have more of. All right. So with that, I'd like to close and, of course, remind everyone that you can visit www.jobs180.com, okay? And, of course, Cognizant website to find out more about us. So now I'm open to...
Hi, good morning, everyone. Joyce, I think there's a problem with your mic, so I'm filling in as emergency host. Okay, so I'll just introduce the next speaker so that we can move on with the program. So our next speaker is from Factset Philippines. Miss Lyra has been a recruitment consultant with more than 10 years working experience and comprehensive understanding of full recruitment. She's well versed in recruiting and hiring processes, and she is also experienced in working in the US and APAC and EMIA regions. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me welcome Ms. Lyra Danica Dosado, the Talent Acquisition Specialist of Factset Philippines. Hi, Ms. Lyra. Ma'am, you're on mute po.
There, can you hear me
Yes,
now?
I can hear you now, ma'am. Thanks for joining us, ma'am.
Ayan.
Thanks so much.
Thank you so much, Miss.
Apo. So, ma'am, can we try testing your screen?
Okay, I'm sharing it now.
Mm-mm.
Ayan po. Let me know if you can see it.
Yes, I do. So I'll put it up. Sige,
There you
it's up,
go.
ma'am. It's in full screen. So, ma'am, we'll give you 20 minutes for the talk, and then the final 10 minutes will be for Q&A. Thanks so much, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am.
Have
Thank you
fun
so
po.
much.
Opa.
Thank you. Well, good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for attending this virtual career fair. So, I'm Lyra Danica from Talent Acquisition Team in Factset. So, for today, I'll be discussing the effective interviewing skills, tips on how to answer different types of interview questions. So, are you guys ready to ace your upcoming job interview? Okay, so I will now start my presentation. Again, I'm Lyra from Talent Acquisition Team in Factset Philippines. So for our objectives today, by the end of the session, you will be able to learn on how to respond properly to different types of interview questions. So, okay. So, one of the most important parts of interview preparation is being ready to respond effectively to the questions that employer might be or typically ask. So, since those interview questions are so common, well, hiring managers will expect you to be able to answer them smoothly and without hesitations. So, for our today's topic, I will be discussing the different types of interview questions and how you can answer or how you will answer them. A quick tip before I start. So you don't need to memorize your answers, but you should think about what you're going to say or to answer to the hiring manager. So during a job interview, you might encounter different types of questions. So it is actually designed to gather a certain information from your end. So your responses will be stronger if you know what to expect during the interview session and have sense of what you want to focus on. So understanding why hiring managers ask certain questions can help you actually prepare your answers before your interview. So, knowing that you are prepared will boost your confidence, and also it will also minimize your interview stress, and you will feel more at ease. So, let me share with you now the different types of interview questions and how to prepare an answer for them. First to that is the personality based interview question. So these questions assesses your personality. So employers are asked this type of questions to get learn more about the candidate is as a person and an employee. So this may include questions that measure whether the candidate is right for the job and they are matched for the company culture. So this will be questions about you personally. So, your personality, your work style, your work ethic, and how you handle stress. So, what you expect from the employer and how you handle a certain situation. So, when employer asks questions about you and how you work, they are trying to determine if you're a good match for both the job and also with the company culture. So, for example, if the role requires someone who is flexible or who can work as many hours as needed to get the job done, but you cannot commit to that, then you might not be the right person for the position. So there aren't any right or wrong answers to this type of questions or to this type of interview questions. But do be sure your responses matches what you know about the job and the company. So the company is looking for the candidates who will qualify to their requirements. So the closer you fit to the job description, the more competitive you will be. So okay. An important thing that you need to remember is to try answer each questions as honestly as you can. So it generally doesn't work to try to pretend to be someone you are not in order to land a job. So please always remember to honest answer the hiring manager as honestly as you can. Okay, I will now proceed to the next one, which is the skills and abilities. So these questions actually demonstrate your skills and abilities. So interviewers are looking to figure out if your background is a good match for the role at hand. So questions about your skills, your abilities, your experience, or work history, or during your internship will help reveal that. So it will also give them a sense on how well you know yourself. So to convince the interviewer you are best fit for the role, you also need a solid strategy. So over the course of interview, the interviewer will be paying close attention to the following things. There are two things. First one is your level of self-awareness. That is how well you can connect your past action and behaviors to successful results. For example, during your internship or you have a project within your team. So um, you can actually connect those. And then second one is your instinct or your personality or the traits that come or the personality personality traits that comes naturally to you. For example, how dedicated you are working within your team, how you are helping your teammates, and empathy and other thing that is actually related to that. So before reviewing the questions you're likely to be asked, write down all your hard skills and soft skills. So, for example, for the hard skill, if you're an IT applicant, or you need to jot down all your experience on programming, web design, something like that. And for accounting, your accounting knowledge, and as also as simple as your typing skills. And for the soft skill naman, you can actually include your problem solving skills, your creativity, and also the communication skills, not just by how well you can communicate or how fluently you can speak, but also on how you um interact with different kinds of people. So, on that list, select up to 3 to 5 that you can confidently discuss in detail and apply that to the specific role. So, for example, what experience do you bring to the position? If the hiring manager will ask you that question. So, employer asks these questions to learn on how have you accumulated skills and abilities that fit the position, or you may not be listed on your resume, or it might not be listed on your resume. So keep your answer relative to to the role, and discuss how your training or hard skill can help the company improve or earn greater success. So again, take it step further by choosing a brief but memorable story that showcases each one of your strengths. So stories that show off like multiple strengths are also a great idea to share. So please remember that. Next one is the qualifications. So for the qualifications, the purpose of a job interview is to demonstrate why you are the right person for the job. So the best way to do that is to show how your skills, educations, and experience have prepared you to do this job better than any other candidate that is under consideration. So this means relating your qualifications for the job for which you are being interviewed. So, the first or the best way to answer questions about your qualifications for the job is to prepare, of course, to prepare before the interview session with your hiring manager. So, read through the job postings or the job qualifications needed for the job one more time, and note all the requirements or the qualifications for the job. Then, look back at your resume. So consider how your skills, your experiences, your abilities, or your trainings fit the job requirements of that specific organization. So make sure that for each of your qualifications that you have also at least one example of how you demonstrated that skill or ability at work. Be sure to highlight those qualifications throughout your interview session. And then another way to prepare for an interview is to research about the company. This is very important. In fact, that most of our hiring managers are actually asking on how familiar is the candidate to Factset or with our organization. You have to learn about the company culture as well as the company's missions and goals. So this is actually readily available in different websites of different organizations around the globe. So you might also want to check their website before you attended or before you show up on your interview session with them. So this will help you connect your abilities and also your experience to both the job and also with the organization. So for the sample questions, if ever employers ask qualifications questions, it will actually determine if you meet the requirements for the job. So employers want to know more about your education, your training. So it's very important you have to include that also in your resume. And if not, then you have to be prepared in discussing that with the hiring manager. So so provide an answer that highlights any unique strengths that you have that could help you stand out apart from other candidates. So okay, please remember to build on building confidence, practice interviewing with a friend or colleague. So you have to research on interview questions that you might be asked and consider how you will answer them. And you can actually try to practice in front of the mirror. It's very effective for other candidate as well. Okay, so I will now proceed to the next one, which is the behavioral interview questions. This is very common in the Philippines or any organization here. So during a job interview, it is likely that you will be asked behavioral interview questions. So behavioral job interview techniques are also used by all types of organization or companies here in the Philippines or outside the Philippines. So unlike traditional job interview questions that you ask to describe what you did in a role or to share a qualifications, these questions seek a concrete examples of your skills and experiences that relate to the position. So behavioral interview questions are designed to learn on how you would respond to specific um, workplace situations and how you solve problems to achieve a successful outcome. So you may actually share with them some examples while you are doing the internship or if you have any work experience already. So the interviewer will ask you to handle the situations and you will need to respond with an explanation of what you did. So the logic is that your success in the past is a positive indicator of your success in the future. That's why they're doing the behavioral interview questions. So, and the behavioral interview questions are generally formatted by presenting a situations, inquiring about what action you have taken to respond and to something similar in the past and what the result was. Okay. So another thing that another type of interview question is this one, which is also related to the behavioral interview questions. So the situational interview questions. So during the hiring processes, an employer may ask series of situational interview questions, which is very common. These questions help the hiring manager gain a crucial insight into how you will react in the specific circumstances on the job. So you can use your responses to demonstrate how you'll overcome specific obstacles and help the company meet its objective. Excuse me. So situational interview questions focus on how you will handle a real life scenario. So you may encounter in the workplace and how you have handled similar situations in your previous roles or in your previous projects or internship. So asking these questions help employer better understand your thought process and assesses your problem solving skills, self-management, and also your communication skill. So while you might not know the exact situational questions an employer will ask you, you can actually use something called STAR. So STAR method is for you to prepare a thoughtful or thorough speaking points. And then using this method, it helps you address the interviewer's question in a cohesive story. So highlighting a clear obstacle and resolution. So let me quickly share with you the STAR method. This is actually common even with those experience, even within our organization, we actually discuss about this one. So first time, take some time to identify specific challenges you have faced or you have encountered in the past. If you're entering a job market for the first time, especially for the fresh graduate or those who will be graduating, consider obstacles you experience in school, like doing a school project or some extracurricular activities such as team sports, something like that. And you have to break down your experience using the STAR method. So, what is the STAR method? So S stand for the situation. So explain the context of the situation you experience, including any relevant details to that specific situation. And then for the next one, the task, you have to discuss your responsibility of your role or your role in that kind of situation. And then next is the action. So describe on how you overcome or overcame the challenge you have faced in that kind of specific situation. And then next to that is the results. So you have to share the outcome you achieve through your action and be specific as possible as you can. So that is the STAR method. It I hope this will help you guys in moving forward for your interview session. So, a quick reminder before I end the slide, please do remember for those who will be, attending your interview session soon or in the future. So remember that these things, that's something that you can try to prepare for your interview or for your next interview session. Next, first one is you have to do your research. So take steps to prepare for the interview by reviewing the job description and researching the company. Don't forget that. Prove the interviewer that you have the industry knowledge or internship knowledge. Understand the company mission and highlight the skills and experience that you have that match the job requirements of the specific organization or specific opening. And then rehearse your answer. So most interview questions, you can prepare your answer ahead of time. So study interview questions and have a general idea of how you will answer or focus on the information you want the interviewer to have. And then lastly, take your time. So after you have been asked, this is very important. After you have been asked a question, take a moment to think about your answer. So listen closely to the question to determine whether it seeks a personal, behavioral, abilities, knowledge, or a qualification answer. So I hope everything is clear. I am now done. Thank you so much for listening.
All right. So
Hello,
thank you
Miss
so much,
Joanne.
Miss
Ayan, I
Lyra.
can
Can
hear
you
you
hear me now?
now. Yes, I
Yay! Yes,
can.
yes. Okay. So, guys, the floor is now open for questions. So, if you have questions for Miss Lyra, now is the time to ask. Okay. So,
You
at
go
saka ang
ahead
ganda ng
po.
topic, no? Regarding interview. So, syempre, after graduation, ayan, yung iba, mag-ready na to apply for
Correct.
a job. So, habang ngayon maaga, no? So, you will know ano ba yung mga tips, ano ba yung mga do's and don'ts, mga hindi dapat gawin kapag nasa interview na kayo. Okay? So, ask na kayo guys. Post nyo lang yung questions nyo and iisa-isahin natin, babasahin natin. So, habang naghihintay ng questions from the audience, Miss Lyra, okay,
Opo.
so may mga questions akong ready. So,
Sige po.
okay, so aside from the skills, you've mentioned po kanina, what are the other things that a job seeker must prepare before the job interview?
So of course, first off is um, yourself. So you have to be presentable during your interview session. So you can actually try to like open your camera lang before during this pandemic, we usually do the virtual interview session lang with Factset. So it's very important apart from like preparing for the interview session itself, you have to prepare yourself also. You try to turn on your camera in your laptop or in your mobile phone and then check if you look good in the camera, and make sure that your background is well lit and clean. So I think yun yung isang main thing that you could actually prepare before the interview session.
All
Yun
right.
po.
So thank you, ma'am. Okay, so we have question from the audience from Miss Ryu Viray. Ma'am, how would you answer the classic question po na why should we hire you?
For the why should we hire you question, which is the very common questions that we are asking to the candidate, make sure that you will highlight your skills or your abilities or that you can actually anong tawag dito? You can actually um share with your organization or with that specific company. Yun, highlight your skills and abilities or experience that you have that could help the company or the organization to become more better or to become successful. Sorry.
Kasi may mga pilosopo, ma'am, nun ano, kasi ma'am, you're hiring eh. Ayan.
Mm-mm. Oo nga
And,
eh.
opo.
May mga memes na ganyan.
Opo, opo. And totoo nga naman kasi you're hiring kaya nag-a-apply daw po ang
Correct.
aplikante. Ah, yun.
Ay,
Papakatotoo lang naman tayo mga applicant. So next
totoo naman.
question, ma'am,
Ayan.
from Miss Cristel Villapando. Good morning. How can you give us tips po on how to answer the question, what are your weaknesses?
Okay, so for the what are your weaknesses, guys? It's as I mentioned earlier, you have to be honest, but make sure when you are sharing your weaknesses to the hiring manager or to any interviewer, itatweak mo siya to become a more in a positive way para hindi naman siya magmukhang talagang weakness mo. So yun,
Mhm.
yun lang yung solution for that. Turn your weakness into a positive one.
Mhm. Of course. Thank you, ma'am. And of course, syempre po kasama dito yung dressing up. So,
Yes.
ngayong online interviews, ma'am, ngayong new normal, ano
Mm-mm.
pa rin ba yung mga dapat sundin ng mga applicants? Kasi marami pa rin applicants na pagdating ng interview, no, topless, ayan, ganyan.
Talaga ba?
Yes,
I haven't
ma'am. So,
experienced that yet.
when I was in BPO pa, ma'am, may mga applicants kami na
Ah.
may towel pa sa ulo. Ayan, so
Oh,
talagang
okay.
ano lang. So, what tips po, puwede niyong ibigay sa mga applicant na
Ayun.
ganito? Ayan.
So guys, please don't do that whenever you are attending an interview schedule. But first thing that you need to remember, you have to again research about the company kung ano yung dress code nila. Like us in Factset, we're wearing like we have tawag dito, dress down sometimes, but make sure na i-research nyo yung dress code of the company, and from that you can wear naman based dun sa dress code nila. Tas usually kasi as much as possible, make sure guys na kung ano yung susuotin nyo while attending a face-to-face interview is gawin nyo siya as well during a virtual interview kahit na online lang siya. So make sure to be presentable kasi right now is very we cannot see those applicants face to face, so medyo mahirap. So being dressed well is something that could give them a check or additional points for you guys to wear properly during your interview. So please don't do that. Don't wear towel in your head.
So, meaning ma'am, is it, better to be overdressed po ba than underdressed?
Hindi rin naman. So, ano lang, parang always remember na on how kung ano yung sinusuot niyo during your face-to-face interview you can also wear that during your virtual interview. Don't overdress, don't wear like necklace, big, what do you call that? Accessories, something like that. For the guys naman, it's better to at least wear a polo shirt, something like that. So, yun. And then,
Okay.
wag po masyadong maraming makeup.
Totoo,
Ayun.
baka hindi ka makilala ng
Kaya
iyong
opo, baka
employer or
pagpasok mo
interviewer.
hindi ka na ay yan.
Parang iba yung
Iba yung na-interview ko,
in-interview
iba yung
natin.
nakita ko ngayon.
Ayun,
So,
tama po.
gano'n pa.
And we have question from outside FB po. So from ayan, friend of a friend. So in an interview, do they need to answer in straight English po ba? Because most of the applicants say they failed the job interview because of communication barriers.
It depends actually on the organization. Like us in Factset, ako, while doing the HR interview, you can actually speak to me in Tagalog. But when you have an interview with someone from like outside the country who cannot understand Tagalog, you have to make sure to speak in um English. But and also like us in Factset, for example lang, we are actually supporting different clients or different people around the globe. So it is very important for us, for someone na hindi naman kailangan fluently, but as much as possible you can actually explain your thoughts in English in a simple way. So something like
Mm.
that.
All right, thank you, ma'am. So another from is Hacent De Leon. So it's also good to ask what the company had done for their employees during the start of the pandemic. So curious siya, ma'am, no? So sa naging
Oo naman.
mm.
Hiring manager naman is honestly asking naman that. Like for Factset, yes, we do. We are sharing things that the company or the organization has done to us during the pandemic.
All right, thank you, ma'am. And another question po is, why interviewers asking questions not related to the job offered?
maybe that's something na parang like for behavioral or situational question, that's something it's not actually related but deep within it is actually, guys, this is any questions that they will be asking to you is actually related, not the two personal questions. I guess. So ayun. So all of the questions is actually related, is should be related to the job itself. If ever they will be asking questions that is um beyond that, so you guys naman can freely say or say no naman, or you can
Mm-mm.
answer naman that, and you can tell them
Mm-mm.
siguro ng maayos.
Mm-mm. And I think interviewers would like to see siguro po no ma'am how fast you can
Mm.
switch from one subject to
Yes,
the other
another.
subject. Mm-mm. Ayan. So another question po from Miss Marjorie Villanueva. Good morning ma'am. What questions are we allowed to ask to the interviewers kapag tinanong nila if we have further questions pagkatapos po ng interview? Yes ma'am. Mm. And what
Ayun.
are the questions na hindi po dapat tinatanong din sa interviewer?
Hmm. Siguro, first na lang siguro, sagutin ko yung tanong niya na ano, questions that you can further ask. Usually, you can actually ask on paano sila within the team, paano yung process nila within the team, ano yung mga schedules, if they're still working from home pa ba, or they need to work on site na. So those are the things or sample things that you could ask for with the hiring managers. Yung mga hindi tinatanong usually is like, you can actually ask din naman pala if how well you do during the interview. They can answer that. Yung mga hindi tinatanong siguro is kung pasado na po ako. Kasi sometimes they have to, take time, or they have to screen other candidates pa kasi it will also hurt you if they say you fail right there and
Mm-mm.
then.
And it's too early to tell.
Yeah, it's too early to tell.
Mm-mm. All right. So another ma'am from Miss Gail, Sadora. Ma'am, can you give us some tips po on how to handle stress? Thank you.
Tips on how to handle stress? Hmm. Hindi ako. Siguro for me, when you are on stress, make sure lang na maybe when you're in the office, parang ganun, you takes a quick break, something like that. A quick break, pwede kang lumabas, outside, magpahangin ka muna, and then you have to return to work pa rin naman talaga. So if ever there is stress, make sure na don't dwell with that. Um, then always remember na everything na nangyayari or every issues or concerns that we undertake is uh, uh, there's always a chance na masosolve naman siya with a help of someone or with a help of your teammates or your manager. So I think that's my own personal experience on how I'm handling
Correct.
stress.
Okay, so I think that's it, Miss Lyra. Thank you so much for joining us today and for sharing your knowledge and expertise this morning. So don't worry, guys. Yung mga questions nyo, i-ask natin sa susunod na speaker. So time bound kasi tayo,
Mm-mm.
kaya we have
Yeah.
limited time yan. So thank you so much, Miss Lyra. Thank you so
Thank
much
you
po.
so much, everyone. Thank you and
Thank
have a
you,
great
ma'am. You
day.
may now
Stay safe
proceed back.
always po.
Ingat, ma'am. Okay, so let's proceed with our next speaker, last speaker for today. We're talking about developing strong work ethics. So our speaker for today is a graduate of Bachelor of Science in Secondary Education from the Technological Institute of the Philippines. She has 8 years of work experience in the field of BPO talent acquisition, which led her to a stint with VXI Global Holdings as a talent acquisition officer. With this role, she is responsible for talent acquisition, internal sourcing strategies, such as referral programs and employee engagement. Please welcome the Talent Acquisition Officer of VXI Global, Miss Christine Crissy Teoxon. Hi, Ma'am Crissy. Good morning po.
Hi, good morning everyone. Good morning, Miss Joyce. Glad
Good
to see
morning,
you
ma'am.
again.
Glad to see you again po. Ma'am, can we test now your screen share?
Okay, let me just share my screen. Okay. Can you see it?
Not yet po. Wala pa, ma'am.
Okay. Let's try.
Okay,
How
ayan,
about
loading,
now?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am, it's up. So I leave it to it po. You have 20 minutes, ma'am. I'll be back po for the Q&A. Good luck, Miss Crissy.
Thank you. Thank you, Miss Joyce. Hello, everybody. Good morning. Thank you so much for inviting us on today's event. So I hope everyone's doing well, and I hope everyone's doing well, and everyone's happy, and everyone's safe. Okay. Now the topic aside for me today will be developing strong work ethics. Okay. So I think yung today's topic is a combo of how will you be able to get the job. Kasi kanina it's about the interviews. Now the topic is related on how will you, if in case you get the job, how will you be able to sustain, keeping your job for a long time. And this is the answer to that. You have to develop strong work ethics. Now, ano po ba yung work ethics? There are so many things that we can associate it with. There's professionalism, there's attitude, there's value, how about responsibility. So there are so many words that can be associated with work ethics. Pero I think it would be better if we would be identifying those two words separately. So first is work. So when you say work, it's an activity that the person engages in a regular basis, and it's for a purpose of livelihood. Okay? Now, of course, it's fun if your work is if your work is like play, like you're doing something that you like, and in return you get to earn from it. All right? So at the end of the day, of course, when you do the work, it's a sustained physical and mental effort to overcome an obstacle or achieve an objective result. So you will be able to identify if during the task that you are performing you have succeeded or you have not succeeded, things like this. So that's work. Okay? It's actually a commitment as well. Okay? And another word, ethics, ano naman po yun? It's actually the rules provided by external sources such as codes of conduct in workplaces, or in sa religion, it's like it's the principles on how are you supposed to be how are you expected to behave, right? Now, if you combine them together, work ethics is actually composed of so many things. Okay? Now, what are these things on how you can develop a strong work ethics? So, ibig sabihin, yung work mo, yung regular commitment mo to do something that will support your livelihood, you have to coordinate it with good behavior. All right? And how are you expected to deliver your tasks? Now, of course, it's important for you to develop strong work ethics because um, to be successful in your career, you must possess both strong occupational skills and good work ethics. And here are several ways on how you can do it. So, first and foremost, attendance. You are required to be present. It's of course important kasi you would not be able to be successful in a career if you are not attending, okay? If you are not coming to work on time. 80% of success is showing up. And of course, good attendance is needed. You have to be there. You have to begin and end work as expected. So if you are expected to be at the office at 8 o'clock, then you arrive 7:50 or 7:45 before your work starts. Hindi po porket 8 a.m. yung start, talagang nagkukumahog ka, no? 8:01 nandun ka. That's still, that's not displaying good work ethic. Kailangan you have to be there at least a few minutes before your shift starts and finish work as expected. Because as you know, like I said, it's a commitment. Hindi pwedeng pagod na po ako ng 12 o'clock I'm going home na. So you have to end work as well time that you are expected. So, there. So, number one is attendance. Napakaraming, parang sa class, 'di ba? When you go to school, when you attend your classes, there are so many opportunities you miss when you don't attend your classes. Right? So, it's the same with work. So meron kang mga skills na hindi matututunan, and at the same time, it will also affect your team. If you are working alongside a team, of course, mahihirapan yung team mo kasi you are important as part of the team and you're not showing up. So meaning, what is expected from you will have to be divided and carried by with the other teammates. So, 'di ba? So, it's not good. It's not good to display that kind of behavior. Dapat when you are expected to go to work, right? And remember, when you go, before you get a job, you go through job interviews, you groom, you're anxious, you answer questions, you complete your requirements. Tapos pag nandun ka na sa job, I don't think it's right for you to just be absent after all those effort that you have exerted to get it, right? Okay, so that's one. Second is character. So there are so many things that make up a good character. So one is loyalty. Okay, first is loyalty. All employees are ambassador. You become an ambassador or a salespeople of the company. Okay, so ibig sabihin po niyan, ah alam mo yon, you, if you're, if say for example you are working in a clothes industry, or in a company that makes clothes. Okay? So you become the ambassador of your company, 'di ba? We have to be loyal. Hindi pwedeng bubulungan mo yung customer doon tayo sa kabilang brand. Sa totoo lang, mas maganda doon eh. Have to be loyal. You have to know what are the good points of your product. Okay? Honesty. Okay. Never lie on your application. Huwag po tayong gumawa ng mga work experience na hindi naman totoo. Never lie on your timesheet. Huwag po tayong wag po tayong what do you call this? Huwag po tayong magsinungaling tungkol sa ating timekeeping, no? Sa VXI, that's a grave offense. That's terminable. Have to be honest. If you're gonna be late, you have to tell your superior. Hindi pwede yung you get there, you're late, and you just act like nothing happened, no? Never cheat on your customers, associates, and employers. So, what do you mean never cheat? Never cheat, meaning wag po tayong, alam mo yon, kung halimbawa yung ating product is ito ang halaga, then let's do it for that halaga. Hindi siya pwedeng magbago. Okay? Initiative means that you have to be motivated, enthusiastic, and you have to be hardworking and industrious. Hindi pwede po yung pagdating mo sa office, ikaw ay nakasandal lang at ikaw ay tamad na gawin yung task. You have to be motivated. Of course, you have to be enthusiastic in doing it because if you are, you create a better output. Dependability, be trustworthy and reliable, and you support the other members of the team. And when you say be trustworthy and reliable, if they expect you, say for example, you're given a task and you are expected to deliver it on Friday, then you deliver it on Friday because other people are depending on your completion, di ba? Para din kahit papano yung susunod na hawak ng task, alam niya na kung paano yung gagawin. And you gave it on time para hindi rin nadidelay yung project. Accountability, answerability, blameworthiness, responsibility, wag po kayong matakot sa blameworthiness. No? Accountability means, it's very simple, tinuro to sa atin ng mga bata tayo. Kapag ikaw ay nakabasag ng basong babasagin, sasabihin ng nanay mo sino ang nakabasag nito. Hindi mo ituturo yung lola mo. You will tell the truth. Ako po yung nakabasag. Sorry po, wawalisin ko na. It's just a simple example. But you know, in a work setup, if something is not done right or merong nagkaroon ng glitch, nagkaroon ng hurdle, nagkaroon ng roadblock, and you know that there is a part of it that you know that you have contributed, then be honest and step forward. Okay? That's character. So it's very important to have these for you to be successful. Okay? And also, if you have loyalty, honesty, initiative, dependability, accountability that builds your a good character, it also gets you to be respected by your teammates. Ano po ba ibig sabihin ng respected, yung pinupo at opo? Not that. It means that they believe in you. They believe that you can deliver what you are expected to deliver, and you are valuable part of the team. Okay. Next is Appearance. We form opinions about a person based on appearance, smell, cleanliness, mannerisms, depending on career. Okay? Acceptable appearances will vary. Now, when we say appearance, it's not always about, ayan, meron tayong sample, no? Meron tayong naka-coat, meron tayong naka-pencil skirt na for ladies. It does not always mean that you have to wear coat and tie, okay? You have to dress appropriately. And when we say appropriately, okay, for example, sa VXI, we're a BPO company, we're a call center company, and we, although we are doing dress downs sometimes, we are expected to follow certain dress code. So, hindi naman po tayo mahigpit. Pero of course, we're not wearing spaghetti straps, we're not wearing slippers at work. So, you have to keep that in mind. Now, if you are working in, say, for example, in an organization where it's important, for example, I'm trying to get to say construction site. If you're working in a construction site, you have to wear your helmet, you have to follow safety protocols, then you have to also do that. Okay? Kasi po pag appearance, coat and tie, hindi po coat and tie kung tayo ay nagtatrabaho sa isang manpower plant, 'di ba? So syempre kung ano yung prescribed na dapat suot natin, sinusunod natin. Especially those kinds of jobs that require you to wear uniforms and safety gears. So you have to comply with that. Okay? There. So, next is attitude. Attitude is a big word. It's actually very, very compound. Pero to make it simple, you have to demonstrate a positive attitude at work. You have to be confident and you have to accept constructive criticisms. Okay? So, yung drawing natin says half empty o half full. Siyempre, 'di ba? Let's try to be positive. Matatapos natin 'yan. Kaya natin 'yan. Yes, malaki yung targets. Maaabot natin 'yan and this is how we're gonna do it. 'Di ba? Parang mas nakakataas ng moral, mas nakakasipag kesa yung we're gonna say, ano ba 'yon? Ano naman? Ayan, 'di ba? I mean that's not the right behavior and attitude that we have to display because also it's contagious. If you are exuding a positive attitude, your teammates, your workmates will also feel that, and they will also feel that yeah, we can do this. Alam mo yon, it's a better outlook than being negative about things. Okay. Our fifth is there's attitude. It's actually very important. Now, next is teamwork and cooperation. So I have been saying the word team, I think, since the beginning of my presentation because it's important. Like I always say, no man is an island. Napakabago po niyan. Ngayon nyo lang maririnig yan. No man is an island. But yeah, in being part of an organization, you have to convey a willingness to assist others. Okay? Follow the chain of command in resolving conflicts. Ibig sabihin, ano po ba yung ating proseso? Ano po ba yung mga proseso para magawa natin yung isang bagay? And sino po yung mga pwede nating ika-collaborate para po ma-achieve natin tong goal na to? Hindi naman pwedeng ikaw sa ganito hanggang dulo ikaw. So that's why there is an organization to help you out. Right? Display leadership skills. Ako lang yung susundin nyo, hindi pa. It means that if you have a solution to a problem, then be open about it and be open to share what are those things that we can do, and then you can help others do it the way you are seeing it. Kasi baka nga it will work, right? Respect the rights of others. Build rapport, foster commitment, and team spirit. Okay? Respect the right of others, meaning wag tayong magkalat sa station nila, something like that. It's actually very simple, very small examples, but if you respect others, okay? If you respect others, their spaces, their output, you'll be able to build good rapport and you will be liked by your teammates as well, and it will make going to work more fun for you. Okay? Time management and organizational skills. Of course, it's very important. Okay? It's very important because the more that you are good in time management, the more tasks that you will be able to accomplish in one day. Okay? You have to be organized. Ano po ba yung priority? Ano po ba yung uunahin ko? Kasi baka mamaya yung isang item is an emergency or urgent item and dapat ma-resolve siya by 9 in the morning and you're just gonna look at it at 12, then you're already too late. So you have to also organize. Ano po ba yung priority ko? Ano po ba yung uunahin ko? And ano po ba yung dapat na inuuna sa umaga, ginagawa sa hapon? Manage your time well. Okay? And lastly, communication. It's important that you communicate well. Actually, hindi lang communicate, dapat you have to over-communicate, right? So, what are those that adds to good communication will be the, yung it's the totality of your body language, your voice tone, your words, your listening skills and empathy, and of course, your email etiquette. Okay? Ano po yung email etiquette? I would not go through body language, voice tone, words kasi alam na natin yan eh, di ba? Choose the right words, choose the right tone, baka mamaya sobrang mataas yung boses mo, akala ng workmate mo nagagalit ka sa kanya, hindi naman pala, di ba? Listening skills and empathy, yan, you have to listen for you to understand. Hindi pwedeng sagot lang tayo ng sagot, no? And email etiquette. When we say email etiquette, be polite in your emails. Be polite, which means that, but be polite, at least have a greeting, and then make your messages short but concise para hindi na kailangan yung 3 paragraphs only to say that you are gonna send this file for them to check. Alam niyo yan. So it's actually it's something that you learn by doing it and by experience. Okay? So all these things that we have discussed, if you will be able to enhance them as you go through your first employment and as you go through the years and your experiences, you'll be able to grow these skills. And if you will be able to do that, of course, madaling-madali na lang sa atin maging successful. Okay? Now, that is the end of my presentation. I hope I was able to give you an insightful content today.
All right. Thank you so much, Miss Crissy. Can you hear me po?
Yes. Hi po, Miss Voice.
Baka may problem na naman with the with the audio. Okay, so I think clear naman po. Okay, guys, you may now ask Miss Crissy if you have questions. So last speaker na natin for today. So baka naman. Okay, so if you have questions pa. Pero may mga questions kanina ma'am na naiwan from the last speaker and general questions lang naman ito. So let's answer na lang din po. So from I forgot the name. So good morning, ma'am. Can you give tips po for those who want to be working students?
Sorry po?
Can you give tips po for those who want to be a working student?
For those who would like to be working students, well, if you're thinking of being a working student, first thing that you have to think about is time management. Because again, if you're gonna enter to a commitment that you're gonna be working, you're gonna be committing to an employer that you're gonna be delivering this, you're gonna be with them at this time, from this time, you have to know that you can balance. Okay. So be open also to your recruiters. How if you're applying, you have to tell them, wag mong i-secret na nag-aaral ka para lang makuha mo yung job. Be honest about it so that when you get hired, your employer also will give you the right consideration. 'Di ba? Kasi alam nila na at the onset they hired you even if they know that you will only be looking for part-time or things like that. They can help you with that. Just be honest.
Okay. And another ma'am from Ms. Beniked. Good morning po. What are your tips po for people who do not have any job experiences when going into an interview?
If you don't have a job experience yet, it does not mean that you are what you call this, the least choice. Yung parang, hindi ako masyadong mapipili dito kasi wala akong working experience. Don't think of it like that. The reason why there is preparation, 'di ba, before your interview, don't worry about it. Be honest, I don't have work experiences. But highlight that since I don't have work experiences yet, I have these skills and I am very trainable, right? Kasi wala pa kayong working experience. So whatever it is, you're like a blank sheet of paper. Whatever yung ituro sa inyo, you're gonna absorb it like a sponge. So I think that's your best, what's that, what we call it? Yung parang yun yung advantage ninyo naman sa mga may work experience. So don't get discouraged, okay?
All right. Thank you, ma'am. Another question from Miss Rubirai. Okay, so hello po. How would you possibly handle a workmate na di po nakikipag-cooperate or di appropriate ang ugali in the workplace? Thank you po.
Okay, do not, how will you handle that? You can handle that by not copying them. Do not reciprocate what they are showing you. If they are being mean, may tinatanong ka lang, nakasimangot na agad sa'yo, and you know it does not feel good, then do not do it. You don't do what you feel. If it feels bad unto you, then don't do it to others. Ganun na lang siya. Do not reciprocate. Masungit siya, sungitan ko rin siya. Wala tayong mapupuntahan doon. So just be yourself. If you are, if you are happy, if you're an optimistic kind of person, then talk about it in an optimistic way. Okay?
All right. Thank you, ma'am. Okay, so another question from the audience. So wala pa. So let's talk about work ethics na, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Sorry, Miss Joyce. I-add ko lang din dun sa question ko. Like, kasi you said, di ba, if hindi siya nakipag-cooperate, then how are you going to handle that? I also would like to add that you can also talk to your superior about it. Okay? If it's making you uncomfortable, wag naman to the point. You have to also have evidences, right? So you can talk to your supervisor about it as well. Okay? Kesa naman you talk amongst your workmates and you all, like, we don't like that person. I think it would be better if you also talk to your supervisor and ikaw, as yourself, you behave like how you're expected to behave.
All right. Thank you, ma'am. Okay, so another question from the audience po, from Miss Cristel Villapando. How to politely decline a coworker who insists on getting your help when you are already busy po?
How to politely decline a coworker when getting your help? I see. Okay. So, how to politely decline? I'd say be honest. Okay, don't shout. Don't shout. Don't say, ang dami ko na akong ginagawa eh. Just be honest. Una, tanungin natin, ano ba yung help needed? Okay? Kasi if it's something very small, baka naman. Pero if, say for example, you can politely say, sorry, I have something that I'm attending to right now. Is this, if it's not urgent, would it be okay if I help you later? Yan.
All right. Okay, thank you, ma'am. So, question pa. Okay, so as a student naman, ma'am, as early as no po, bilang estudyante pa lang sila, in what ways or how they can develop their work ethics po?
Actually, as a student, that's actually your best practice eh. How will you develop? Number one, like I said, attendance. Come to class on time. Submit your assignments on time. Kasi when you work, you will be expected to deliver on deadlines. So it's the same practice. That's why we have assignments. That's why we have projects. Practice teamwork. We have team activities at the school, di ba? You're given group activities, participate, attend the meetings, do what's expected of you as your contribution to the team. Actually, yung mga ginagawa natin sa school, when I was still a student, I think, bakit natin to ginagawa? But then I realized those things that we're doing at school are actually practice and preparation for you to be ready sa pag ikaw ay naging employee na or ikaw na ay nagtatrabaho.
All right, thank you, ma'am. And of course, what or which is the most commonly observed form of unethical behavior in the workplace po?
Most observed unethical behavior, nothing major. Actually, attendance. Babalik ulit tayo sa attendance. Yan yung siguro most observed, yung may absence, may nalilate. Yan yung mga nakikita natin. Ay, ako, in my personal experience, wala pa naman ako nakitang nagwala sa work or talagang, alam mo yon, wala naman. Just that I've seen people and I have been also in that situation where I had to be late, I had to be absent for work. Pero, again, you have to be able to inform your superior. Kasi ako yun yung most commonly observed eh. So there are policies on how you would be, how you inform your superior. If hindi ka makakapasok, tell your superior ahead of time. Do not tell them 2 hours after nung pasok mo dapat. 'Di ba? Kung kailan ka hinahanap, saka mo sasabihin na, ay, absent po pala ako and it's already 10 o'clock when your shift is 8. Dapat before 8 o'clock magsabi ka na hindi po ako makakapasok because I have to do this. Ayan.
All
Things
right,
like
thank
that.
you, ma'am. Okay, so another question from Miss Leia Valenzuela. Good morning po. Can you give some tips to do or to work properly the time management, especially to those so-called busy person? Thank you.
Okay. Time management, it's very important. Ako, I recommend that you make a list. It's it's a classic. It's a classic. Like, dati pa namin narinig yan, but it works. Create a list of the items that you have to deliver on this day. Ano po ba yung urgent? Ano po ba yung kailangan sa umaga? Ano po ba yung kailangan sa hapon? And then make a tick box para alam mo kung ano yung mga natatapos mo. By the end of the day, pag chinek mo siya, makita mong matapos mo yung mga items na yun, you'll be able to realize that, okay, I was able to conquer a lot of deliverables today. So make a list. Para din natatrack mo kung ano yung natapos at ano yung hindi. Wala ka nakakalimutan.
Alright. Totoo nga naman po, may mga to-do list na, okay. So, pwede sa notes or notes app na meron ng app na notes. So, yun pwede. Okay, another
Yes.
ma'am question from Miss Marjorie again. So, good day po. Paano niyo po madi-display your eagerness and taking initiative sa workplace without getting the negative impression from your coworkers, such as the impression na pinapangunahan niyo po sila or minsan tinatawag na bida-bida.
Opo, yan. Yung mga Jollibee,
Jollibee.
Actually, ako, how would you display initiative? If there are items that are, that needs to be done and you are available, okay? You can volunteer for it. Iba kasi yung punong-puno ka na ng gawain, apaw na yung gawain mo, ikaw pa din yung kumukuha ng ibang task. So I think that's where that impression comes from. Kasi nga, sobra na. Let your teammates help you if you're already experiencing na marami na yung ginagawa. Initiative means lang din naman kasi na let me cite an example. So parang kunyari may ba to? Sorry, let me cite an example ha. When I was a young recruiter, I am not yet calibrated to do interviews. So the task that were given to me is to welcome candidates, log their names, and then have them seated and then tell the interviewer na meron na po tayong aplikante. So at that time, I experienced that wala pa yung aking recruiter. Wala pa siya sa site. So I don't know what to do because the candidates are waiting. So what I did was, on my own accord, I messaged the recruiter. I don't know the person, wala pa akong contact. So I asked my teammates, do you know this person? Do you have her number? I'll contact her para alam niya na hinihintay ko siya. So, it does not always mean na tayo yung kukuha ng task. It just means that if you have something to deliver at meron kang nakikitang hurdle at meron kang naiisip na solusyon, gawin mo na. Hindi na kailangang hintayin mo pa siya bago ka kikilos talaga. Instead of going, wala yung recruiter ko, ako na nga lang mag-interview. 'Di ba? I sought for ways on how I'd be able to contact the interviewer and how I would be able to know na nasaan na ba siya, ilang minutes ba siya, so I could give the right expectation sa aking mga applicants na naghihintay. So, find ways on how you can deliver on your tasks, all right? Without, yun, para hindi ka na naghihintay din ng sasabihan ka pa kung ano yung gagawin. Yan.
All right. Thank you, ma'am. And of course, would like to know also po na what would be the consequences if they fail to develop and practice work ethics po?
Ang kasing mga organization, as far as my experiences are concerned, we promote what do you call this? Parang a developmental plan for everyone, right? So if you are having a hard time dealing with this, your supervisor or your immediate your manager would check how will these things be addressed. So there are performance improvement plans that we can use para i-follow. There's always coaching. Ano po ba yung mga dapat kong improve? How are we going to improve it? Ano yung commitment from your end? Ano yung magagawa naman ng supervisor to help you out? And of course, through that, pagtutulungan ninyo ng iyong supervisor how to address that. Okay? But you have to be aware that at the end of it, if you will not comply, there are consequences, such as, for example, if you are exhibiting regular tardiness or regular absenteeism and you have already received warnings, nakausap ka na rin ng superior mo and you promise na hindi mo nagagawin and you still commit the same absenteeism issues, then of course, there is no other way for the company, wala nang choice yung company but to terminate your employment. And then you'll go back to finding another job kasi all efforts has been exhausted na rin. So, yan.
All right. Thank you so much, Miss Crissy. So, one last po. Of course, ma'am, vacancies po ng VXI.
We have a lot of vacancies for agents and non-agent positions, and in all our VXIPH sites. So I cannot read them out right now, but please do visit us on our Facebook page. That's VXIPH. You'll be able to see all the openings that we have there, especially we have exciting rewards as well for those who will be joining our joining VXI this February. So please visit our Facebook page for the openings. But yes, we have a lot naman for agent and non-agent.
All right, thank you, ma'am. Since you're the last speaker for today, what would be your advice po and tips for the graduating students? And kahit po yung mga nasa senior high pa lang.
Tips for the graduate. That's, I need to go back to the time when I graduated, and that's kind of many years ago. Don't, what do you call this? Kasi there are graduates, when you graduate, you, ano ba to? How do I put it? Sorry. Kasi I remember when I graduated, I was one of my batchmates na did not get employed right away. So my friends were already getting employed and my classmates are already getting employed, and hindi pa ako na-employ. Although I have submitted applications already. Ayan. So, don't feel discouraged. Don't feel discouraged about it. Just try. And I also recommend that when you apply, look for a job that you feel that you'd be committed to. Alam mo yon? Find a job that suits your skills, your talents, what you can offer, and what other items you can improve para, it helps you grow as well as a person. So, take your time. Do not get discouraged. Just keep on applying and find the right company to join into para when you have the job, you also feel like you're enjoying what you're doing. That's my advice, guys.
Thank you so much, Miss Crissy. All right, thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much po for joining us today. We wish to have you on our next set of webinars po. Maraming salamat at
Thank
ingat
you, Miss
po.
Joyce. Thank you, everybody. Always stay safe. Bye.
Thank you, ma'am. You may now proceed backstage. Thank you. And of course, if you don't have any questions, guys, so to officially close our program, may we invite Ms. Ruth Ann L. Musni, the Associate Director of CCSC, for her closing remarks.
A very fruitful afternoon indeed as we try to look back at what just happened during this virtual webinar. I'm sure you are now excited to create your own resume link and start practicing the new knowledge learned from this webinar. And as you try to start searching for bigger and better opportunities in the job market, again, on behalf of the administrators of St. Michael's College of Laguna, I'd like to commend the efforts of Jobs 180 for bringing us together here virtually. More power to you, Sir Kim, Chua, and team, and we hope to hear from you in the near future for more exciting developments. Thank you and good day.
All right, thank you so much, ma'am. And we would like to thank each one of you guys for staying throughout the event. We hope that the webinar helps you be prepared in the world of work. Okay, so we would like to thank SMCL Counseling and Career Service Center, especially Ms. Ruth, and with me for collaborating with Jobs 180. And of course, we would like to thank also the following sponsors for today. And please, you may check out their page for career opportunities. You may visit or you may simply visit www.jobs180.com. And kanina yung mga career sites, guys, ng VXI, Factset, Cognizant. So just type jobs180.com/ for example, VXI, jobs180.com/ Factset Careers, jobs180.com/ Cognizant. Okay, so, or you may also go directly to your school portal, schools.jobs180.com/ SMCL. And of course, again, Jobs 180 is hiring. And if you're looking for OJT, guys, you may submit your resume link at www.jobs180.com or jobs180.com/jobs180. And of course, we are hiring for customer support officer and IT officer or web developer. If you know someone na naghahanap ng mga ganitong position, please just submit your resume link to jobs180.com/jobs180, or you may email us at info@jobs180.com. Okay, so thank you so much. Please watch out for the next set of webinars we are going to host for. Please check our Facebook page for the topics that will be discussed, and you are welcome, guys, to join in those sessions too. Again, sa mga hindi pa po nag-attendance, ang pre-registration link ay binigay ni Miss Ruth. Hindi po kayo makakasama sa attendance if hindi kayo nag-register kasi wala na tayong evaluation link after neto. Okay? So, the program has finally concluded. This is your host, Joyce Katakutan. We will see you soon and have a great afternoon. Ingat, guys.
The clinical trial market as we know it is about to change. We're revolutionizing the current state aligned to disparate, slow, and often manual processes. Optum's vision is to transform the drug development process to one that is centered and grounded in real-world patient behavior and physician practice. Optum's ability to access this unique network and fold in the strongest data and analytics expertise will enable us to jointly bring life-saving drugs to the patients who need it most. Join us in this partnership to bring our shared vision for real-time, real-world healthcare research for real patients.